The vibrations are like what we interpret, like from the first sound in the universe to everything. Like that's why music is so intrinsic to human nature.
What's going on, people? This is 1166 Podcast, and I'm your host, BLKZEN, BLKZEN. This is the first ever 360 VR podcast. If you love what we do, please like, subscribe, comment, leave 5-star reviews, everything. Without further ado, let's get to the content.
And this is our people. Y'all gonna spend our money. Y'all gonna fucking salute our queen. America was like, nah. Y'all can keep y'all bullshit.
Fuck all of that, right?
Let's keep your bullshit, but when we come for that money, we don't want to hear no question.
You better have that money when we want that money. That shit is
legit.
Crazy.
Oh, y'all got oil? Which I need is freedom. Read this brochure and see how well freedom can work for your country.
Yeah, but I feel like America's responses be way more severe than England.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
The bombings in Japan, it's like, y'all want to kamikaze who?
Yeah.
Ugh. New weapon.
Because the funny thing is, that wasn't even a response to like kamikaze shit. Because like, if you look at the kamikaze attack on Pearl Harbor, right? It was bananas. Nobody ever thought of that shit. Like, you know, we gonna suicide dive our planes into some ships. But when you look at the reports and like the stats, like it wasn't even that successful. And a lot of the pilots was like, yeah, they was with that kamikaze shit when they was in front of their peoples and their family and shit. But when they was in the sky, they was like, nah, we gonna go over here. What happened was, basically, they spent a lot of money I wouldn't say kidnapping, but basically getting a lot of scientists to work on this thing called the Manhattan Project. And it was a lot of money. A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources. So when they got it done, they had to, basically they needed an excuse to use it. So they made up this whole idea that the Japanese would never quit. They would never surrender. They're going to fight to the last man. The only way we can get Japan out of the war. Complete and utter annihilation.
You said they go too hard. If we're not saying no, strong no, they're gonna keep.
That's what they gassed up. They gassed them up like, yo, they will not stop fighting us. They will not stop trying to kill us unless we, use our ultimate weapon. And
I feel like that perspective is right and very wrong. It's right in the sense that Japanese people go hard.
Right.
But they got their mind on something, that's it. But they're not dumb.
Right, they're not stupid. They're not savages. Like, if you come up with a good peace treaty to be like, all right, listen, how can we not
here we
they're gonna come to the table and listen. They're not barbarians. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on. So that's that's a story they sold. They gassed it up, and that's how they got the public support to drop a fucking atomic bomb on something. You know what kind of shit you ought to be on?
That's dark. And the thing is too, at the time it was so experimental. The public didn't know.
Yeah. It was experimental
science. After decades upon decades upon decades. It's yo.
No, it was experimental science. Like, they were really experimenting with the laws of physics.
I'm afraid of hydrogen bombs.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, a hydrogen bomb is basically trying to recreate the sun.
Basically, yeah, because a hydrogen bomb takes shit up to another notch.
Yeah, you're basically taking two protons and smashing them together, and hopefully that the gravity will smash them back together after they explode and just start this, basically a chain reaction that never stops. Yeah. That's pretty much what a hydrogen bomb is. It's like
dark.
It's like why?
Dark, but light, literally light.
Yeah, literally dropping the sun on somebody's couch. Like, come on,
it's a different type of fuck your couch. Different type.
Totally nah. You got to be on some shit to really sit there and look at the scientific implications of doing such a thing. Like, all right, we've accomplished nuclear fission. Yeah. What can we do with it? Let's drop a fucking bomb on somebody. Like, what?
Do you think the Earth is gonna? Do you think we're gonna humans are gonna annihilate themselves? Do you think we're gonna be fucked, or do you think we'll merge with AI? Do you think AI will dominate us? What do you think is gonna be the outcome?
I think the outcome is that it's gonna be another step in human evolution. I
think we're gonna have to bond with the AI or be annihilated by it because we're inefficient. So either we make it to make us more efficient,
right,
or we become the inefficiency that birthed a new thing. One or the other.
Oh yeah. Now we're definitely gonna birth something new, but I don't think it will annihilate us. Because humans are very resilient.
We are.
We've you could throw a plague at us, atomic bombs, tsunamis, earthquakes, volcanoes. We keep coming back. That is one thing humans are always going to do, is keep coming back. And I think AI is only going to make that even more efficient. Because even if you look at how humans interact with technology themselves, before we used to have to memorize everybody's phone number. There was no digital database to keep.
Gen Z don't know about this. Gen Z don't know.
Legit, like we used to have to buy like cards to make long distance. Like our brain capacity was like being pushed, like being tested every day, and like even further back when technology was even less efficient, it was even more. So now
we've offloaded a lot to the machines.
So much
calculations. Remember an abacus?
What?
When was the last time you've seen an abacus?
Sliding beans across a little wooden plate, like for real. That's like grew up with shit like that.
But I remember they had the little solar power calculator that folded up, and if you had that, you were about your maths.
Not absolutely.
You were different.
You were different.
And the TI-84s, I was like,
Texas Instruments, which I know about it. Like
the first time I got the TI-84 calculator, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, calculator had extra numbers. They had the one with the screen, like a big ass screen.
Cosine, tangent.
What?
Square root. It got log.
Trigger. I was like, what? But the beauty of that is because we had devices like this, things like trigonometry and shit like that wasn't far-fetched anymore. Like we had buttons, you could literally triangulate anything just at the tap of a button. Now, concepts like triangulating, position on something is now something within your reach. Like before you would have to hire a team for that shit. Like, like triangulate what? Nah, y'all do that. But now the shit is like, that was a fucking app on your phone.
Let me ask you this. Have you seen Space Odyssey 2001? Is that what it's called?
Yes, I saw that like years ago.
I've seen that shit many times. I did the AI. But Space Odyssey 2001, when I was in this AI class in high school, my teacher had taught me something that was important, and he wanted, because we studied it, but he wanted us to understand the future that was coming. This dude was ahead. I'm not gonna lie, because in hindsight now, looking back at it, he was very much ahead. But he told me, look at how humans use tools. And Space Odyssey 2001 is about humans and tools since the beginning, with the bone, then the fire.
Absolutely.
It's tools.
Yeah.
It's all about tools. So it's like with AI, I agree with you in the sense that we're resilient, and at the end of the day, the AI that we make, the machines that we use, they're all tools to serve us.
Absolutely.
People have their fear because people are always afraid of some shit. People are afraid of change. It's part of human nature.
Not only people are afraid of change, but they're also afraid of losing what makes them comfortable. Yeah. Especially if they excel in that comfortability. Like
that's very physical though, because the spirit wants to progress, but the physical, the body wants homeostasis. Homeostasis. It wants equilibrium.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's a dance.
It wants to maximize its survivability. Like,
and
the
it
mind
wants to maximize pleasure.
Exactly.
If we just let the body do what it does, that's what it's gonna do. But that's where the mind takes the reins and says, hold up. That's not what we're doing. But the mind is also tricky as well, because the mind wants experiences. Even if you don't want those experiences. Let's say you get locked up today, right? Yeah. You don't want to be in jail. Facts. But your mind is going to intake those experiences whether you want them or not. The smell, the look, the sound, like all of that. The mind is going to be like, nah, I want this. Facts. Every experience I can get, I want. It's up to you to control that. Like, exactly.
That's why it's like, just like you said, AI is a tool. Yeah. And we have to maximize that tool's ability to, regulate, like you said, a homeostasis. Like, it all has to work together. We can't let one take over the other.
We can't. It needs to be a symbiosis. It can't be a domination. Right. It can't be one or the other. It can't be binary, 0, 1. It has to be 0.5, 0.7,
yeah, it all has to
0.3,
work,
something.
because everything is a circle. Like, it has to work together. Yeah. And that's why, like you said, the fear. It's because a lot of people get comfortable, and what makes them feel comfortable. Like, put it like this. Like, a good example is an argument that's going to be on from the beginning of time till the day we die as DJs. There's always going to be a section of DJs that say vinyl is best. There's always going to be a section of DJs that's like, nah, digital is just as good. Yeah. It's because with vinyl, that's what makes them feel comfortable. That's what they came up with. There was no other alternative. You had to spin vinyl or you wasn't spinning anything. And then
that was the key. That was the beginning of DJing. So for people, they look at the origin as the only thing, but they also got to look at it as everything must evolve. Anything that exists will either adapt and change with time, or it will cease to exist. Right. Period.
Exactly. And that's pretty much what AI is doing. It's forcing us into an era where we have it's not just using technology as tools, but now with artificial intelligence, it's like, how do we think with tools? How do we collaborate with our tools instead of just how do we use them? And honestly, that's a concept for a lot of people. That's hard for a lot of people.
You know how many people are sleeping on ChatGPT? Yeah. Like, actually sleeping, and I'm like, y'all don't understand what this is. This is a step towards something crazy.
Like, it's a collaborative tool.
Have you heard the thing that happened to Google's AI?
Yeah.
Bard? This is recent for y'all who don't know. Like basically, Google released something called Bard, which is kind of their rendition of ChatGPT, and it flopped in a live demo, and Google's stock dropped 8%.
Right, because honestly, like the way AI technology is being implemented is going to drive how businesses operate now.
Yeah, of course,
because they're gonna have to. They're looking to offload a lot of their work to AI.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's happening in every industry. There's music AIs that are writing complete songs now.
Yo, have you used Midjourney?
What happened?
Have you used Midjourney?
Nah, not yet.
Midjourney it's for like image generation. But
okay.
It's sick.
Okay.
Woo. That thing is good.
Nah, seriously. Seriously. Oh, the air filter. Yep, that's a good idea.
Liquor, weed, it's gonna fuck with our voices in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, got a little something. I'm not
as long as you keep the air clean.
Process, this thing has been putting in overtime.
I would imagine. Like,
shit is so good.
I definitely can see that happening.
But yeah, Midjourney is dope. But people are sleeping on ChatGPT. It's really crazy to me. Like, imagine when ChatGPT is on like, I don't know, 4.0, 5.0, and it's like, it's getting crazy. The amount of data that went into ChatGPT. Like, I was looking at a Joe Rogan talk with Lex Fridman. This is like a recent talk, right? Lex Fridman's a beast. And he was explaining
dude where he has
the
like
MIT guy. Yes. The Russian Ukrainian dude. Yeah. Oh. So what they was talking about was that if you want, you could move the that fan a little closer if you need something to stand it up on.
That's a good idea.
But just keep it pointed at the
camera.
Yeah. I gotta figure out why the fuck my camera overheats. But boom, just like that. What's going on? We in 1166 podcast right now at 1166.
1166.
This is gonna be for episode 5.
All right, episode 5, 1166 podcast, the first and only 360 VR podcast. So if you have access to that technology, jump on it.
Hell yeah! Even if y'all got like just regular YouTube on your phone, if you go on, it's on the BLKZEN page, BLKZEN, you'll see 1166 podcast. You can straight up like just move your phone and it'll move to the corresponding position in three-dimensional space, or you can swipe and it'll move accordingly. So
indeed. So whatever platform you on, you have 360 view of 1166.
We stepping into the future, yo.
Indeed. Right now we're talking about ChatGPT.
Hell yeah.
How it works, its implications, how it changes business. Yep. You know, pretty much.
It's changing how people interface with machines because
absolutely.
When we think about Google, right? Google is a search engine.
Mm-hmm.
When people say, I'm going to Google something, I'm going to Bing something, back in the day it was Ask Jeeves and Yahoo and all that kind of stuff. Like, that was the first iteration. Then Google took it a step further and used AI and suggestions, and now you can, like,
predictive
use Google
text.
AdSense, and now you have SEO and search engine optimization.
Right, you got RSS feeds to, like, pretty much, like, you know, narrow down what you want to search.
Yep.
But with things like ChatGPT, now you have like a collaborative search.
And on top of that too, when Lex Fridman and Joe Rogan were having to talk about this on Joe Rogan's podcast, they spoke about something very interesting because Joe Rogan straight up asked him, he was like, yo, so what have you AI people done? You machine learning. He was joking around with him. You machine learning people. What have y'all done?
Right.
Oh, you've released ChatGPT. This thing is like insane. People aren't ready for it, but I want you to explain it. And this is what Lex Fridman said in summary, loose summary. He said that because it's from OpenAI, right?
Right.
OpenAI is a company co-founded by Elon Musk, but it has some brilliant machine learning engineers and overall just brilliant scientists, computer scientists, and like actual scientists involved. So with OpenAI, they released many different models that studied off of the internet and implemented logic over the course of different things, such as they have Codex. They have before that they have what is it? They made DALL-E. They made GPT-2, something like that. They've made many different models. They made Copilot, which was something for coding. They made many iterations of these transformers, which are basically machine learning models trained off of a bunch of data with a bunch of parameters. They use different methods such as like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, which is the computer's iterations of what we want based off of our categories, but also they trained ChatGPT to have all the different logic involved in maths.
Right.
Because this thing is like, you remember the fusion dance that they did in Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
With the two kids, and they made Gotenks and shit like that.
Yeah, little Trunks.
So this is that with all their other models that already were on some different shit.
Okay.
So this is a second generation of different shit based off of the sum of all their other different shit.
Right. All right.
That was already, in math, in understanding human language.
Right.
In, just in many different things.
And that's what makes it collaborative.
Exactly. But these motherfuckers said, Lex Friedman said that it's based, because these machine learning models have parameters, yeah?
Right.
He said this shit is hundreds of billions of parameters.
Right.
So typically in machine learning models, when I was doing machine learning to do things like recognize images, make heat maps, make actual generations based off of numbers and math, it'll be 1 to, I don't know, like tens of parameters.
Right, yeah.
Hundreds of, because this is the input.
Right, yeah.
Hundreds of billions of inputs? Yeah. Is ridiculous, because with those tens of parameters, there's so many decisions that can be made, because now you have a middle, because it's input, hidden layer or layers, and then you have the output. Right. So the input, if that's like 10, I say 3. 3 is chill. 3 you could do a lot and it's still accurate and precise. Right. 3 in parameters, 3 categories as your input. The amount of weighted values that they could be it's infinite. Yeah. And then there's the output layer, which is what you want. And it's typically like one parameter. You might want a couple parameters, but typically you want to narrow that down to one conclusion. Right. Because it's like it's a neural network. It's kind of like a human. It's based off of human thinking, which is input, perceive, make an output.
Right. The difference with human thinking and machine thinking is that human thinking always has a room for irrationality.
Yes.
Machine learning doesn't calculate irrationality. Like, it just removes it. Humans always have irrationalities in anything they do. That's honestly the secret to our resilience. Like, because
we adapt. Yeah. We adapt in a way that's very organic, and that's the thing. If humans break that code, because I feel like humans will eventually, but assuming we break that bit to create that irrational, but not always fatally irrational. The average of it has to be a good irrational. Yeah. Because there are a lot of irrational humans who just do dumb shit. But in general, humanity, the sum of all the humans that exist, it does something. Like that. That average is what we're going with as like humanity, and that average is a plus in terms of our survival.
Oh, absolutely.
Black plague, diseases, wars. Yeah. Like famine, everything, all sorts of wild shit. I wish humans would be able to just come together, though. That's the issue. Humans are too standoffish in terms of like imposing will upon others.
Absolutely.
Because imagine if all of these powers in the world, right? If Russia, China, North Korea, U.S. came to terms with certain things. Yeah. It don't gotta be everything, just certain shit. Certain shit.
Like the basic human
something to progress humanity.
Right, exactly.
A net positive for everybody, and it's in everybody's interest type shit, Just come together on those kind of things and push. It would be different.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's mad ego.
It's not only ego, it's also like ego, perception, calculating of resources. Yeah. Not just that, just human fear. Because a lot of it comes down to the structures that we've created for ourselves. There's like this top, middle, low structure where it's like, there's people on top, people in the middle, and everybody else is on the bottom. Yeah. And maintaining that structure has been beneficial for a very small group of people. Yeah. The secret is convincing the people on the bottom that they could be someone at the top. That's the fucked up thing, because now they no longer have an interest in changing the system. Yeah. Because if they're at the top, then they can reap those same benefits that have been reaped from them. Which is, it creates like this weird vicious cycle that feeds into itself, which people just have to like step away from, leave it alone. But it's like they attack the human need for gratification, which is hard to like counter when it comes to certain people. It's like, you could tell people, at the Amazon, processing centers, people being treated like slaves, they making them pee in bottles, stuff like that. And then people be like, oh, that's wrong, we have to change it. But if we change it, you won't get 2-day shipping anymore. They don't want to give that up.
They don't want to sacrifice the convenience that they gained.
Yeah. And it's like, you could take that small example and extrapolate it. And it's like, all right, then you have a situation in which, you have people dying of famines, dying of, just lack of resources that could easily be, mitigated to them. But in order to do that, you're going to lose a lot of convenience. Gas prices are going to go up. Food prices might go up if we have to distribute it to more people. And a lot of people are not willing to sacrifice that.
Right.
So they'll take any excuse, they'll do anything else but change it.
Yeah. 100%. It's like we've made a society that is about self-gain. Pretty much self-gain over everything.
Right.
On the average. Because there are certain communities that up that and value the community more than the individual. For example, absolutely. Like Japan. That's also why I like Japanese culture.
This is true.
They're about the sum. But the thing is that's in their society, I feel that it's a double-edged sword, because even though the net positive of like Japan being about efficiency and the overall good, it gets abused.
It does.
And overwork is a thing. A lot of people, like, they get really sauced.
Yeah.
Bare liquor. They get sauced after work because they're just drained. They're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I need to just get clapped.
And maintaining that structure can have like very, very detrimental effects on like, the society as a whole. Like that's why there's like such an age gap.
Yeah.
In Japan, where there's like,
you have a lot of declining too.
Yeah, seriously.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then you have a lot of people, like, especially when it comes to like certain business decisions that they've made in Japan, in which, they have like, a lot of them promote based on nepotism. Like, if your father worked here, you're going to work here. Your kids are going to work here. You don't have to worry about anything. And that, that screwed up a lot of businesses. Like, there's a lot of business opportunities.
Families make rapport.
Yeah, seriously.
People in general in Japan, you make rapport.
Right.
There's a code you got to live by to be a decent person. In America, it's like, it's more fluid.
Yeah,
it's like certain shit.
Right. Seriously.
That's it. You need,
Which I appreciate about Japanese culture. Like, seriously. It's like when it comes to like the overall good of, their nation, it's like that's the decisions they make. Like, I mean, other countries do that too. Like you see in England with the NHS, like just making healthcare free for everybody, which makes sense. Like, seriously. Like,
these are your citizens. These are literally your citizens. These are your people.
Even when you think, like, how do you buy healthcare? Like, when you think about it, like, you can buy anything else. You could go to a store and make a decision about anything else you want to buy.
But just think about it like this. We live in New York.
Yeah.
We in New York. New York is the most expensive city on the planet as of October 2022.
Right. Yeah, seriously.
The most expensive city on the planet.
Hands down.
Overall, most expensive. And motherfuckers have to pay.
Yeah.
There's ways around it, but motherfuckers have to pay essentially for healthcare.
The structure of our healthcare is legitimately just stupid, because you can't buy, like, you can't go to a store and be like, all right, you know what? I think I'm going to need insurance for a broken elbow. Like, really? Like, at what point are you going to sit there and make time to break your elbow? And no, you're going to have to pay for whatever happens to you. Like, and that's such a predatory method of selling a product. Like, you can't do that in any other market. You can't, like.
I think it's abuse of citizens, because it's like to exist here, it costs a lot of money. That's one. But also, there's a lot of benefits to being here and existing here and spending money on spending money in the New York economy. It's crazy. Like, that's big.
As far as the New York economy, we have so much access to resources that we
get shit dangled in front of us.
Like, seriously,
it's like you can have a lot of this,
everything,
but it costs.
Yeah, it costs a lot. It costs a lot.
Wild. It's actually wild.
A lot. It's insane, and it's like, the way that like capitalism works, I feel like New York City is the perfect example of capitalism run amok. Like, capitalism just going off the rails. Like, I think New York City is like a perfect example of like, all right, this could happen to you. Like, this could happen to you. And it's not a good thing. Like, they'll show you on TV like, oh yeah, it's just, it's a bunch of sights to see and places to go and great food to eat. It's like, nah, like, the cost of that, like the real cost of that, like the human cost of that is insane. Like, you really, I feel bad for those, like, like, I empathize for those who have to live in it, But I feel like
New York is it's like training.
Yeah,
it's literally how that saying is. It's like, if you could make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Like,
if you good in New York, you could survive in a lot of
like,
environments in society.
Think of New York like a game still under development, but they ain't tell you that. Like, they'll show you on TV all the CGI, like cut scenes and like the development trailers where everything is working smooth. And it's like, I bet. You decide to get here.
So wait, is New York an alpha or a beta, or is it just
New
like
York
fully?
Is stuck in alpha because everybody has a new idea of what they want the game to be. First, it was going to be an open world explorer game. Yeah. Now it's a third person shooter.
Oh yeah,
now
Like, it switches. It
switches every time we get a new mayor. They like, nah, we got to switch this up. So it's like you got to be on your toes like every second.
So what is America? If New York is an alpha, what is America in?
Oh, America,
because America is a big, like, it's a thing. We spoke about it earlier. America is like it's just a thing it's a thing. It's an experiment. Like,
what America is like the Super Nintendo. Like,
when early phase. I feel you.
Like, when the
Super
Nintendo dropped, people were like, oh shit,
it was revolutionary.
16 bits. Like, this controller is sick. Like, nah, Super Nintendo is a standard. I don't want to hear nothing else. And then everything else came out, the PlayStations, the Xboxes, the GameCubes, and like people still look back on Super Nintendo like, nah, yo, remember Street Fighter? Remember? And it's like, yeah, we remember, but
there's a lot more now.
Yeah, so much more. We got to stop pretending that America is like the standard of like what should be. And it's like,
do you think America can be accelerated to being from like a Super Nintendo to like a PS5? And what will be like the fastest track?
The fastest
without
track?
offending, because it's like, honestly, in America's about offending people, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can appease pretty much everybody objectively with a bunch of things, and it's like bulletproof, then it's like, okay, now it can be used. Yeah. You know? What do you think that is?
The fast track America to like get it where it needs to be.
I feel like universal income is a part of it.
Universal income, definitely, but we have to get rid of our democratic structure.
What would you want to have instead of our current democratic structure?
Our current, instead of our current democratic structure, we would need honestly, it sounds ridiculous, but like a round table of scientists.
I agree.
Because we have
scientists view things in a very objective way. You can have experiment, like the scientific method is the scientific method.
Because we have, our nation is too large to tell everybody, make an individual decision about what everybody is going to do. Like,
it's too many people. America's big. It's too many people. Yeah. Each state is very different.
Each state, every single state is very different. That's why I'm like,
shit is like, laws are different.
Right.
Like taxes are different.
Everything.
Protocols different. Style is different. Rates are everything is different.
Everything. So it's like, you can't tell everybody to
cultures.
Right, yeah. It's like 5 different countries in one country. So it's like, instead of telling everybody, all right, make an individual decision about what everybody else has to do.
Yeah.
I think those individual decisions should be left up to individuals, and the decisions that affect literally our society, like our shelter, our healthcare, our income, our access to food, our access to, safety, all of those things should be made by, a council of experts.
Yeah.
Everything else you can vote on. What color the fucking flag is going to be. What, all that other bullshit. Yeah. Vote on that.
Facts,
for real. Let that be the democratic fucking system. But like to vote on healthcare and school systems and what's no. No. Because you can't, honestly, you can't leave that up to free will. Because you're basically saying if you make a dickhead decision, it's okay. And it's like, you can't leave that up to chance. Like, why am I going to leave my healthcare up to chance? Like, the fuck, somebody's like, because then, let's say if I'm a billionaire, right? My problems are not your, I don't give a fuck about your healthcare and your school. So I'm always going to have access to doctors and the best surgeons and whatever. So how can I make an informed decision about the healthcare of the rest of the nation who has no access to
That's an uninformed decision.
Yeah. Like, basically, you're asking everybody to make uninformed decisions, and I don't think that's smart. Hence why, this climate change shit, it's literally happening. Like, shit is literally going out of control because we let these people convince us that oil is fine. Like,
facts.
What? Like, facts. Told them you carbon offset shit. Like, if you, create a carbon, if whatever organization you work for creates a lot of carbon in the atmosphere, just pay a little bit of money to offset it. Like, how you gonna offset carbon with money? Like,
there's a lot of inconsistent shit with America. Like, for example, middle class and lower paying more taxes than the upper class.
Yeah. It's bullshit trickle down economics.
That's another thing. You can be looked up. Like, it's
it's stupid.
It's common knowledge at this point.
It was invented by Reagan.
Rich people don't pay taxes.
Rich people. Like,
yeah,
it's bullshit. It's basically saying, like,
people with the most
money, they'll use their money to create more jobs and opportunities and shit. And it's like, no, they won't. Like, they'll keep more of their money because that's what they do. The fuck, like,
it's their money.
Yeah, like, if we made them pay taxes,
like,
then that taxes will go to the.
It's like, oh, it's a promise. Yeah, I got you.
No, it's bullshit.
It's a promise. Yeah.
It's bullshit. Rich people walked up on the president like, yo, we don't like what you're doing. Can you change that? And he was like, got you. Like, come on. Like, you know how this works. Like,
yeah.
Seriously, that's why the wealthy have always been protected.
That shit is kind of gangster.
Never been in any type of economic danger and in this country ever.
Why is it so gangster? It's actually gangsta. It's mafia shit.
Yeah, it's like, mafia shit. Straight up. Like, they walked up on him like, yo, my nigga, like, can you change this?
Imagine anybody like who would have the audacity to come face to face with like big pharma and offer holistic remedies that actually work. Because there are a lot of things that work.
Yeah, there's a ton of shit.
In the past, Americans have called them witch doctors.
Oh yeah,
but that's like
shit that works.
There's mad witch doctors. There's witch doctors in Latin America, in the whole world.
Just look at human history.
European witch doctors.
We survived before pharmaceuticals. Like, we had doctors before pharmaceuticals. We had surgery before pharmaceuticals. We had we had all this shit before pharmaceuticals.
We have a lot of new diseases and problems.
Yeah.
We have a lot of new shit.
Oh yeah, it's because the way humans are operating today, as far as like before, we're operating in so much excess that we're creating new diseases based on it. Like,
facts.
Before, this type of excess was not a thing. Like, just look at the meat industry. Like, before, meat wasn't just on call. Like, if you went back, like, let's say like 100 years and just say, I could just walk up into any store, get as much fucking meat as I want and leave, they'd be like, what? Like seriously, like, there was hunting seasons and shit like that. Like, the shit was hard. Like, nowadays it's like, nah, you can have anything you want, as much as you want, with no limit, and nobody sees any problem with it. Like,
facts.
Like, literally, like, how does that, like, we have a limited planet, we have limited resources, but everyone is promoting get as much as you want, when you want, whenever you want, with no limit.
Facts.
How does that work? Seriously,
it's different. How does that work?
It
literally
doesn't. That's why they keep coming up with excuses as to why it should work. Why, like,
it's always an excuse as to why things aren't better, but it's always like, oh, be grateful for what it is. It's like, yeah, grateful, but it doesn't take a genius to spot an inefficiency.
Right. And it's like, you can only be grateful for dodging a bullet so many times. Like,
Facts.
Seriously, it's like, all right, yeah, I'm grateful that I live in a first world country. Like, seriously, I am grateful that I could have been born in a cave in some country that's getting bombed every day by.
But there's a lot of below average shit for a first world country that's as expensive as it is. Like healthcare, we're really bad.
Absolutely.
Education,
horrible.
But education is so important.
Like, we're like,
education is literally education is a metric for the future of a country,
right? And this is why
how it will progress or
smart people from every other country. The minute we find somebody that could do math in another country, we offer them the best visa.
Lazy. Why not produce them? How about instead of getting them imported, produce them?
By producing them,
it threatens the whole system.
Exactly, we'll threaten the system. It was like, what do we need you for? Like, we're smart enough to create a better nation, right? But no, we need a workforce that operates our capitalist bullshit.
We need labor.
Exactly.
Well, politically, we need labor.
Yeah, we need
In
labor.
actuality, we need future leaders.
Yeah, actually, like, we need educated people that can solve problems.
And we need, like, less gatekeepers with personal interests.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gatekeepers are good in terms of having standards. Gatekeepers are good in that sense. But, like, personal shit has to be out of it. You can't be asking for no favors. You have to be somebody of integrity.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I feel like politicians, I think it's an interesting idea, but I feel that politicians should have X number of trips before they're able to go into political office and deal with the lives of others.
I think all politicians should be chosen at random, like a draft. Like, everybody.
I feel like
once you turn 30, you end up being president. You can end up being vice president. Like, anybody, because then everybody will be on their toes. Everybody. It doesn't even matter. Like, no votes. Like, just like the Hunger Games.
So let's paint this scenario. What if you get somebody really good? What if you get somebody really bad?
Then you got to work with the bad and work with the good. You got to come to like,
shit.
Like, seriously, like, you can't, because There's no way to tell somebody's going to be good or bad in that position until they're in that position.
Facts.
So
this is like, facts.
You might think
how quick will the terms be?
4 years.
4 years? Word.
Yeah. So once you turn 30, you might end up like your whole life.
Damn,
you might never get drafted. You might never get drafted. Never.
Wait. What if? Okay, so what age do you get drafted?
Like once you turn 30, your name gets.
It could happen. It could just happen.
It could just happen. You might go your whole life and never have to serve political.
Okay, so what if you like get a whole other life? And you got like kids, and you got like a restaurant or some shit.
Congrats! It's like jury duty. It's like it don't fucking matter. Shit. Don't fucking matter what you doing. You president now. Like you got to run the country now. Like
you president now.
That ass. Like
damn.
They can just come to your house, Secret Service, just pack you and your shit up, just boom, White House.
Yo, that should be a movie. Whoever sees this, like we need money. We need money because that's a movie. That's a movie.
Right the fuck now, seriously.
We gonna sue you.
For real.
This is copywritten.
Copy fucking written, that ass.
Yo, that'll be hard,
that ass. That's my idea. Like, you just get drafted into political. It could be anything. You could be a fucking city mayor. You like literally anything. It don't matter.
Damn. Yo, imagine, right? A lady in Texas with her own farm. She's 68 years old.
Yep.
She gets a letter in the mail. Ma'am. You know?
Yep.
By now, representatives of ours should be downstairs. You hear knock.
For real.
She goes downstairs. It's like Secret Service. They're like, "Ma'am, please follow us."
Bro, Madam President, follow us. Like what? Like,
she got a walker. She's like, like, ma'am, and then they just whisk her away into the whip.
That ass.
She got bare politicians in a fat limo truck, and they just chopping it up. Like, ma'am,
legit. Some of them know what they're doing. Some of them don't. They're like, bitch, I'm in the same situation you is. Like,
ma'am.
Legit. I was
Madam President.
Train, and now I'm Secretary of the House. Like,
yo. This guy literally, he just came from playing Dungeons and Dragons. He's like, ma'am, I'm Secret Service.
Legit. That as you get drafted, just pop up. Because it's like, yo, if any citizen has the potential to run for political
What's
office,
the cutoff age?
The cutoff age, I would say like 65.
All right, fair.
I would say 65. Like,
how old is Biden?
Damn.
How old is Trump? Wait.
Yeesh. Dead ass. Nah, the cutoff age gotta be 65. Because these motherfuckers is like 70 something.
These motherfuckers is
pushing 80. Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, they old.
Like what? Like yo,
people keep coming at Biden for being like half alive and being senile. That shit is crazy.
The perfect analogy of that is when Mark Zuckerberg got called into the Senate,
and
they was asking him all these questions about, so what's a Facebook? Like, what is the internet?
Joe Biden is not 80 years old.
How old is he?
He's not 80. He's 80 years old.
He's 80?
He was born in November 20. 1942. He's
and this
80.
Is the fuck I'm talking about.
Trump is 76.
This is the fuck I'm talking about.
Trump is 76 really and Biden is 80.
Voted some 80-year-old motherfucker to run a whole country.
He's 80.
You don't even trust 80-year-olds with driver's licenses, but
Nancy Pelosi's 82.
82.
Yo, is this cap? Hold on. Google's telling me.
This is real. Like, this is what I mean. Like,
that's crazy. He's really 80.
What the fuck I mean? But you know what's funny? One of these fucking cities just elected their first mayor. Dude is like 18.
Who?
Like, he's dead ass. Well, nah, what's this dude's name?
That's crazy.
Somebody knows.
I'm hearing people everybody's age. Kamala Harris is 58. Bernie's 81.
81.
Putin is 70.
Yo,
Obama's 61.
Up that seat. Like,
Obama's 61.
Obama's 60. You know what? You know what's funny? That's like.
That feels old for me because I feel like he just had young energy. I don't know.
He did. I mean, he's 61 now, but when he got elected,
facts. It was a while ago. So yeah, he was in his 40s.
That ass, honestly, he was one of the younger ones.
It makes sense.
And not just that his swag was mad. Yeah, honestly, I feel like Obama was
Kamala Harris is
president.
50. Kamala Harris is 58. He was president. Like,
right. Kamala, I mean, that ain't too old to be vice president.
But I'm saying, like, she's like the youngest of everybody that I'm seeing in terms of age outside of him. I mean, everybody else is in their 70s.
Yeah, that's out of control.
See, that shit is crazy.
That's out of control. Like, this is what
Charles
I mean.
Charles III is 74.
Right. Our structure of our democracy forces us to vote for old ass people to run our whole country.
But it's like the old ass people have the money.
Right, that's the problem.
The oldest of the people who are like, who been had the money, now got the money.
Right. This is what I mean.
And they passed it down, and then they got the money. So it's just different. The structure of our
democracy keeps this type of shit going.
It keeps them it keeps them as like the highest priority because they're the ones who always have had that control.
They want to protect themselves.
Of course.
They want to protect their money structure, so they're going to make sure the political structure protects the money structure.
And now there's like a lot of opportunities, so there's a lot of new money that's starting to do their thing, and new families popping up, and every new generation having a new like beginning of a legacy.
Right. And as far as like the way we use resources, eventually another resource is going to become $1 billion resource. Like
Bendy.
Like seriously, like before combustion engines, like nobody gave a fuck about oil. Like nobody really gave a fuck about oil.
Bro, you gonna shovel my horse's dung or nah?
That us. Like niggas used oil for motherfucking kerosene lamps. Like that's for the most, like that is what they was using it for.
That and skin.
Yeah.
That's it.
That us. But like
cooking.
Apparently the runoff from petroleum, the gasoline runoff was flammable. And then somehow, some way, because they be stealing shit, it's fucking billionaires be stealing shit. Somehow, some way, they was like, well, we got this combustion engine that could be perfect for this. Like, really?
It's like, what?
Really, you just happened to come, fuck out of it. You stole that shit from somebody, made $1 billion, made oil the priority.
Yeah.
Now y'all rich. And then the Saudis.
Y'all made a demand. And they said, word, I mean, if y'all making this demand, like,
for real, if y'all saying,
I can supply.
I just so happened, like, this whole desert shit, apparently there's a bunch of oil down there. If you, like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like, this resource wars, like that's another thing. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of wars have
history
nothing to do with like
history be kind of ghetto.
And it's all about resources. Like
American history is ghetto sometimes.
It is. It's ratchet. It's ratchet
as hell.
It's ratchet as fuck. Like
it's sloppy.
Really just gang shit all day. Like that's
it's gang shit all day.
Like they tell us stories of like social studies about people's like ideology about. It's always just gang shit.
There's a lot of like great ideas, but it's gang shit.
Yeah.
It's bare gangs. It's deeper than Crips, Bloods, Panthers, cops. Everything is just gangs.
Gang shit, like just gangs. From time. Like
different ideologies existing in this place that's supposed to have a parameter of ideologies being accepted. That's an infinite number, and we're exploring that infinity.
Exactly.
That's what it is. So you've seen all sorts of different things happen at different times.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how even though there's new ideas that are being formed, it goes with a certain pattern, like an overall loose pattern as a sum of all these ideas like changing and all the flow of what can be becoming, you know?
The ebb and flow of like human intelligence is crazy.
It is.
I think that's why like we're at this particular point with like artificial intelligence really being at like people's forefront, because when new technology would emerge, it would take a while before people had access to it. It would take a minute, but now that we have access to technology that's built for searching shit, like now we have access to it as it's developing, which makes it so motherfucking crazy.
Facts.
Like, so it's like, what I want to see is how far it's going to go as far as collaboration. Like, when is it just going to become, like, because eventually the contributions of AI are going to have to start being recognized as, like, for instance, there was a law paper that was published in which they had to credit ChatGPT as a co-writer. So it's like, all right.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because if it's providing resources, you know, to be published with this law paper, then, you know, by all, you know, definitions, it co-wrote it.
But ChatGPT isn't a person.
Right.
It's a tool.
Right. Hence why the more, right now it's a tool because it needs our input. The more it's able to develop its own logical inputs for situations, when does it become, you know, when,
you know what,
like, where does the line get blurred?
I think the line gets blurred when we're able, I think the line can become more defined when we're able to determine people accepting that it's a thing,
right, and
actually trying to use it.
Okay.
And actively seeing how far it can be pushed. Because at that point, then you can, once it's developed too, you have a need for less. So people getting used to that reduced need of others. You know what I mean?
There was a small, like, I remember there was a thing
like
that happened.
Like a 50-year-old grandma could be able to go, like, use ChatGPT V5 and be like, yo, I need a boom, boom, boom image. And then it does, like, what one of the fucking, like, the AI art shits do. Legit. Boom. Here you go, man. Make it a little smaller. And then eventually you get that into a watch and you're just talking to the fucking watch and it makes a little hologram. And you're like, I want this. And you're moving it and shit. That's where we're going.
Remember the AI rapper FN Mecca?
FN Mecca. Why does that sound familiar?
Because it was an AI rapper that some Caucasian dude made,
Yeah.
But apparently he kept using the N-word in all his songs.
Oh.
So it became like this whole controversy, like, yo, who do we blame? Is it the AI or is it the person?
Oh, I see FN Mecca.
Yeah. It was like a whole, like, basically he was a digital rapper, like he was an AI rapper. Like,
he kept saying nigga.
Yeah. Created in the fucking digital space. You know, he was given simple inputs and the AI would create songs. Yeah. Absolutely.
What the heck was FN Mecca by Rolling Stone?
And it's like,
yeah, this is funny.
My thing is, all right, you take that situation.
Yeah.
It's like when you have a lot of these artists who are, a lot of their songs are being written in, you know, fucking writing camps. A lot of them are using, what's this program called? Master Writer. A lot of people didn't know that. A lot of rappers are using this program called Master Writer to write their raps.
Master Writer?
Yeah.
I don't even want to attempt to use that shit.
Basically, it's an input writing. Like, that's the thing. I love writing. So it's like...
Yeah, it's like, I have no need for that.
You put in inputs and it, like, comes up with, you know, it comes up with, like, you know, rhymes and shit.
Yeah.
Then another one where you could literally, like, put in, like, inputs, like, all right, I need words that rhyme with this word, and it'll give you, like, a list of words and, like, how to input them in sentences and shit. It's like, really? So it's like, you take an artist... Let's say an artist already has a writing camp under his label. A producer already has, like, you know, beats, you know, coming in under their label. They already got, like, programs that do that shit.
Yeah.
My question is, like, what is the difference between major label artists and FN Mecca? Like, what is the difference? Like, like, as far as the music they produce, the music that comes from them, the music that's, you know, comes under their brand, what is the difference between an AI rapper and a major label artist?
What is the difference?
It's like, the only difference is, it's like, with an artist, you actually have to, like, exploit them. Like, you actually have to, like, you know, they actually have to work, and there's a limit to that. But with an AI artist, there's no limit. Like, they can make songs for you for 1,000 years, like, literally. You don't have to owe any royalties. You don't have to pay any publishers.
It will be done once if it's computerized, it can be done faster.
Yeah.
And it can always be done faster and faster and faster, and it truly becomes just a step, a process, and it becomes automated.
Right. Because at the end of the day, that's what artists end up complaining about. It's like, oh, they're not paying me my royalties. I'm not getting the proper, you know, publishing rights. Like, everything that they don't want to give the artist is like, why are we going to waste time?
I think the good side I mean, I guess it's optimistic, but it's also realistic. It's that as things progress, artists can also use them. And I feel like a lot is going to have to change in terms of what people define as an artist. An artist can no longer just be somebody who participates in something. It would have to be somebody making something new. Yeah. You know, it's going to force the bar of what an artist is to go way higher, because now it's like what majority of quote unquote artists do will be automated. So then the artists are going to shine above that and be the only artists. Right. They're going to be the only ones.
I feel like that's in like correlation with what I've always felt.
That's what's going to happen.
Seriously. I've always like gravitated to an artist doing something new, because that's what it's going to come.
That's what's going to make you an artist, like an artist that people remember for doing something and that's hasn't been done.
That's going to be like the defining characteristic of what art is going to become.
The people doing the new things.
Yeah, seriously, like people creating new concepts, new art. Yeah, that's going to be what defines an artist. No longer just participating in a particular art form.
Precisely.
Yeah, because like you said, like AI is going to automate everything. Like instead of just being a rapper, you have to be
it's a tool. It'll be a fantastic tool.
Yeah. It's going to create a lot of rap music. It's going to create a lot of music.
Exactly. Because the machine will be trained off of what's been done.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So if you do something that hasn't been done, and you keep doing something that hasn't been done, the machine won't have time to catch up.
Yeah, basically you'll be the like industry leader. Like you'll be leading the market. Like the machine will have to catch up to you. But right now it's like I feel like everybody's comfortable playing catch up. Like it's like something comes out and then everybody, I don't know.
Everybody just like incorporates it. It's like, oh, trend.
Yeah, everybody jumps on the trend.
Another trend.
Yeah. That's why I appreciate the UK.
Trends is slow.
Yeah. That's why I appreciate the UK. A lot of them have this idea of creating.
Since you showed me Kwengface, I've been wanting mad Kwengface.
Yo, big up.
I'll be in the gym.
Like, yo,
I'll be in the gym. The Daily Duppy, but the other one with Fumes the Engineer.
The Engineer plugged in. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ching man down, yo.
Yo, like the way he put
his
signature on that beat. I don't think I've ever heard like anybody like really like ride a beat like every every drum hit, like every snare hit, he had a bar or a syllable for it. It was like, damn.
It was hard.
Shake man down if he thinks about getting up. Like, what?
Shake man down if he thinks about standing.
Like, nah, at the top of the rankings. Like, come on.
It's so hard. I'd be in the gym like, I'm about to die. And I'm like, nah, fuck that.
One more. On the up block trying to see what's goody. Like, yo. Nah, Kwengface. Like, that's what I appreciate about the UK. It's like every artist is trying to create their own sound.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of how industrialized music over here is, where it's like somebody creates a sound and then everybody jumps on it trying to make like whatever profit they can until something new comes along.
Yeah.
In the UK, everybody's trying to make their own sound.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. Like, oh my God. Like, seriously, you could run through so many playlists of different artists and hear a different style, different flow, different bars in each one. And it's fucking amazing.
I love it.
It's fucking amazing.
And it got a Caribbean drip to it. A lot of them are like Jamaican or like some kind of Caribbean.
Yeah. Which creates such a beautiful bridge between cultures. I feel like
the drums have it like with the hi-hats.
Yeah.
That's like
and a lot of their slang is straight from Jamaica, straight from the Caribbean.
Facts.
And I feel like it's such
like
a
pussy oil. That's pussy oil.
Yeah, brethren.
So like pussy oil. It's that, but pussy oil.
Like seriously, it's because the UK is full of a lot of Caribbean immigrants. Man, like, and the beauty of it is, it's like it creates a bridge because over here in America, it's like we treat Caribbean music as if it's own separate island, like as if like reggae and dancehall is like a whole separate genre of music that's not related to hip hop, R&B. You know, and every other form of black music.
It's interwoven.
Yeah. In the UK, that like distinction is not as strong. It's like you will hear a dancehall artist on a drill track. You'll hear a drill artist doing a reggae track. Like the blending is so beautiful. Like seriously.
Facts. Because they're not in the Americas.
Yeah.
They're in Europe.
Yeah,
seriously. That's a big ass. Like North, South, Latin America, all the Caribbean, all this whole Western edge of things vertically, it's its own thing.
Absolutely.
Europe got their own rules, their own regulations. They different. They're outsiders to that.
Yeah. They're outsiders to like how the U.S. music industry
They're outsiders
works.
to the Caribbean, but they're connected as fuck to the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah. Especially
and it has special bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a special bond.
Because so many people that like immigrated from, like a lot of Caribbean immigrants live in the UK.
Yeah, they didn't go to like New York or like Florida or
seriously, a lot of them went to the UK.
I got family in the UK now.
Exactly. Like cousins who most Caribbean people got family in the UK. Like,
facts.
If you go to like Bristol, you're gonna like there's like a Jamaican restaurant on every corner. Like,
when is the next time you going? I actually I wanna go.
Honestly,
I wanna take my first trip. I've never been to the UK.
Either this year or next. Like honestly, like
let me know.
I'm manifesting that shit right now.
Actually, I really want to go there.
I need that.
I want to spend some time and make music. I'll bring some music equipment.
Nah, seriously.
I'll probably bring like this mic.
Yeah. Link up with some of the artists I know out there. The vibe is insane.
Yeah,
especially for musicians, because a lot of the artists in the UK are not. It's not like over here where like if somebody makes a hit song, they treat them like a superstar celebrity. Yeah. They're separated from the people.
They crave consistency.
Yeah. With the UK, it's like you can run into like, you know, your favorite DJ, your favorite MC, like just waiting for the train. Like, so the music connection is there easily. Plus, it's a lot smaller. So let's say if you want somebody to hear your song. How much smaller
compared to like New York City?
New York City, it's like, the population of New York is probably like the whole population of the UK. Like,
oh shit,
it's much smaller. Like, so seriously, like.
So what's the latest part? London, yeah. Or Bristol, Manchester.
Bristol is my favorite.
Why?
I feel like
Bristol has that's a cool name. Sound like pistol. Bristol.
Nah, it does. Like,
man, lemon pistol with the pistol. Oh.
Nah, seriously, Bristol has like this certain type of vibe where it's like I feel like art culture is part of human culture in Bristol, where it's like everywhere you go, there's like new graffiti.
Oh.
Everywhere you go, there's like people spinning like DJ sets.
Yeah.
The people you run into on the street, a lot of them are artists. Banksy is from Bristol. Like a lot of like
dope art comes from Bristol.
Yeah, like a lot, and not just. It's like the people put their art into like I feel like the city itself is painted by the people. Like a lot of. It's hard to describe. It's like Bristol has a certain vibe that everybody's like just on. Whether it's the cab driver, the bus driver.
Yeah.
Everybody's just on that Bristol vibe. Like it's hard to like I can't like put it into words.
Yeah.
But I feel like as an artist you would understand.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
I get it.
Seriously.
Dope art comes from Bristol.
Yeah, seriously. Like, and it can come from anybody. Like, literally anybody. Don't count nobody out.
I gotta go to Bristol. I gotta go to Bristol. Yeah.
Like, London is lit.
How's real estate in Bristol?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Is it, like, expensive? Like, just in general, being in Bristol, is it expensive or is it?
Oh, no, it wasn't expensive at all.
How much was
but
like an Airbnb?
That's because I was staying with friends.
Okay.
So as far as like real estate, how much a hotel and an Airbnb would cost, I'm not too sure.
How was food?
Food is great in Bristol. So like it's a lot of Caribbean restaurants.
Oh
like,
yes, that's all I needed to know.
A lot of Caribbean restaurants.
Yo, I've heard that. I mean, we spoke about this like British food. Like actually, British food is trash. Yeah, it's the immigrant food. Yeah, that's what hits. Yeah, Caribbean food in general. What? Like New York, New York has a lot of good Caribbean food, but there's a lot of shitty Caribbean food in New York too. Yeah. Like I've gone to a Guyanese like restaurant and I had some shit where I was like, yo, I could have done this better at home. I would have slayed this at home. I would have destroyed this at home. This shit is trash. And it costs more.
Yeah. You know? It's because in New York, like a lot of people are just trying to serve like tourists. Or people not familiar with the food.
New York is touristy, so you got to cater to the tourist palate.
Yeah, a lot of people that are like necessarily familiar, but
and
like
the tourist palate is white people palate.
Yeah, exactly.
White people can't handle crazy spice in general.
Right.
I have white friends who can handle spice and they with it, but most white people know you cannot.
Like I said, it's not part of the so diet.
It's like, but it's like who's paying for it? Is it the Caribbean market or is it going to be the white people going to New York? Like, oh wow, a Caribbean restaurant. I want to try that shit. You gotta. You know what I mean? Think about the market.
Right.
That just happens to be the market in New York.
In the UK, it's like they serve it up right, where it's like you fuck with it or you don't. Shit. Like London is cool. London
sounds like exactly. I was about to say London sounds like the New York of the UK.
Like London is very like
in Manhattan, seeing some shit that has London on it or being from London is very fucking normal.
Yeah, like
Manhattan specifically.
I mean, it's a little different, but it's if you're from New York and you're familiar with New York, navigating London wouldn't be too difficult. They have their own subway.
Yeah.
Like it's
almost like separate from like everything else.
Like London is its own like city. Like it's its own, like Bristol is on the west side of England. Like you gotta drive like that's what I mean. It's so small, 3 hours. You're on the other side of the country. The west is Bristol and the middle would be London, which is more east.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought like London was past Bristol. Never mind. So London is between
so let's say England is a big circle, it's like an island.
Yeah.
London will be like in the southern middle. Okay, southern eastern middle.
Yeah.
Then you got Lower Scroft all the way over here. Then toward the middle right here you got Birmingham, which is tough. Like Birmingham is tough. Like and then past
what do you mean tough? Like tough in a good way, in a bad way?
Oh man, like in Birmingham, like I ain't trying to shit on Birmingham, but that city, man, I saw some weird shit.
Yo, you from New York, so when you say weird, I'm like, it's probably actually weird.
Like that ass, like they move different in Birmingham. Like that's just facts. Like seriously. And it's like I feel bad about even saying that because it's like I feel like that's how people be saying about the Bronx, and I'm like, that's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. I feel like Birmingham is like one of the most, I would say one of the most English cities in England. Like, wow, if that makes sense. Like,
wow, that sounds powerful. You go to
Birmingham, like you get a real sense that you're literally in a different country. Like, London reminds me of New York. Bristol, honestly, I felt so at home in Bristol. That ass felt like the Bronx. Like so much of it is like just the graffiti, the people, the hip hop. Like they love hip hop in Bristol. It's crazy. I bet. That sounds crazy. That was lit. But Birmingham, that city, that's England right there. Like. Oh, appreciate it. Thank you. England is like Birmingham is like, that's the only way I could describe it. Like it's like a lot of like what you hear about England. That's what I felt in Bristol, like the rainy season. I mean, honestly, it was like it wasn't that rainy in Birmingham. It was sunny as fuck. Matter of fact, the time I went, but like when we were leaving, it was like fuck. Like
it got crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's when like the sky got dreary. Ran into some like Manchester's another one. In Manchester, I feel like people from Manchester talk in riddles, if that makes sense. Like, I know they're speaking English, but the way they speak English, I feel like they're just using words and phrases that just don't exist anymore.
I understand. Because there's a part of like when I think of a really English accent, there's a part that's like that. So that's what that part comes from.
Oh, the Birmingham accent is definitely very English. Like, they can't be mistaken for anything else.
Have they used the Birmingham accent in Peaky Blinders?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard it.
Honestly, Peaky Blinders is very, very Birmingham.
I've heard that shit.
Like, best way to describe the Birmingham accent is kind of like sing-songy a little bit.
This is a go.
Yeah.
Birmingham.
Like, it's like somebody from Birmingham might say, "Are you want to take the bus to Dudley?" Like, they have like this sing.
Whoa, say it again. What was that?
Trying to catch a bus to Dudley.
To Dudley.
Trying to
catch a bus to Dudley.
It's a neighborhood around there. But it's like they have like, I know that was probably the worst Birmingham accent somebody's ever heard.
Many times.
But if somebody's going to roast me for my Birmingham accent, I don't care.
I've definitely heard that shit in Peaky Blinders. 100%.
It's kind of sing-songy. Like, that's the only way I can describe it.
I be mixing that shit up with Scottish sometimes.
Scottish. I feel like Scottish accent, it's like their tongue is punching their mouth every time they talk.
That's bad, buddy.
Like, let's drink, let's fight. Like, it's like everything has to punch. Like,
wait, do it again. The Scottish accent.
Scottish. They drink, they fight.
So they try to sound Spanish, like rolling your R's. Rolling your R's.
It's like the R's don't roll. It's like their R's punch against their mouth. Like,
wow,
that's the way I could describe it.
No, that's interesting. That's interesting. Shrek is Scottish, no?
Yeah, Shrek is Scottish. Yeah.
Donkey, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, it has those inflections. So it's like the tongue has to like bounce off everything before the word comes out. This shit is weird. Like,
that shit is crazy. Yo, what do you think is gonna be the next step for people consuming shit? Like, you see right now, it's like social media.
Yeah.
Before, I feel like it was movies, and movies were a thing, like, by itself.
Yeah.
That was a period in time.
Yeah.
Social media is like, it's still a spinoff of movies and shit like that.
And that's definitely going to be the new medium to like take in media. Because it's the only place to create something new.
Yeah. Like something truly new.
Yeah.
Actually new.
Because we've made every movie into 3D. We've made every goddamn movie. Doesn't even matter. It could be a documentary about whales, but IMAX has it in 3D. We've done as much as we can with 3D. So now I think VR is like the next. It has to be the next move.
These people got the vice president and general manager of Unreal Engine saying that Varjo Aero presents a generational leap in visual quality for high-end VR applications. That's Unreal Engine. And Unreal Engine is like the catalyst, like the one in virtual production.
Is true. Like, I watched some demos on YouTube, and as far as like
Unreal is the shit. Like the way it works too, like with nanite, the different shit with Lumen, the way that the light works.
Yeah,
like
the light tracking,
real physics,
shadow tracking.
Physics.
Like, they've created some really like
blueprints.
Insane,
UE 5.1 is crazy.
Like lifelike 3D structures using Unreal inside the Aero, and it looked insane. Like, you could actually create very like insane environments. Like, they use it from surgery training. So instead of actually having to practice on like, a person, like, you can actually get like training in VR to like, scale it to as real as possible.
Wow. So it's like
another thing.
As their hand is moving, it's like an exact thing of what, I mean, that makes sense if you're not using a sensor.
Yeah.
Because a sensor is like a connection between that.
Yeah.
And that's like a mechanical lag, but if it's just tracking you.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, the Air Force uses those from flight training.
Yeah. Because
the realism they're able to like create is insane. Which is another thing a lot of people have to realize about VR. You can use VR to gain skills in the real world. Like, not many video games and other shit does that. Like, you can play a video game and the most you'll get is like, you know, better hand-eye coordination. But as far as like skills, like actual like, you know, mechanical skills that you can learn, you can take from VR into the real world, which creates a different level of education. Because you can learn, you know, you could learn any type of academic skill, you know, from the information provided online. Like, you want to learn philosophy, you can, you know, read and study philosophy. But if you wanted to learn, let's say, Wing Chun, you can't just read Wing Chun and learn. Like, no, you have to physically do it.
Yeah, you have to physically do it practically.
And, yeah, with VR, like, now you actually have like a physical space to practice and execute like actual, like, you know, and gain that muscle memory.
Yeah.
Which changes education. Like, now you can literally learn anything.
That's a fact. It has presented a new kind of a new pathway for learning. Like, we got used to phones. We got really used to phones really fast.
Yeah, easy.
Once VR, I mean, as VR is getting better, we're getting more and more used to interfacing with this thing, and then we're gonna get used to AR.
Yeah, AR is
glasses, and you know, getting used to just move your hands in certain positions.
That's
and
funny.
know how to work with AR.
Funny you mentioned that.
Holograms, and you'll use the AR techniques and fucking hologram. This is what's gonna happen.
And be
I
able
feel like
to
holograms are AR in reverse.
Yeah, it absolutely
That's how it is in my brain.
Yeah.
When you take AR and instead of having it as a projection that you only see, you make it as a physical projection that everybody can see and have you interface with it. It's
and
holograms
blending
are AR
those
in
two like
reverse.
interfaces, you literally create another layer of reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with AR and holograms, you're literally creating another layer of reality that, like,
you making shit there that's not there. It's not actually there.
Which is crazy because, like, it's something that I noticed with the VR headset I have. Like, when you create a boundary, when you step out that boundary, you can see, you know, it gives you like a view of, like, you know, a kind of augmented reality of your, you know, whatever your outside world is. But once you step back in, you're literally back in that virtual environment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy because it's like you could really use that to create like different levels of like
consciousness.
Like,
like different levels of consciousness, existence, different levels of being.
Like, literally. Like,
somebody could like be hanging on to their consciousness by a thread.
Yeah.
And just be caught up in a whole world, like in the episode of San Junipero in Black Mirror.
Yes, yeah.
Where they were like plugged in and people were dying and they would just live on in this other world, and other people who were near dying and in hospice and shit.
Which is another implication of VR. Like,
it's crazy.
Which is another implication. It's like, all right, there's certain functions that somebody might lose throughout their life, like hearing or sight or, you know, just like dementia, shit like that. I feel like VR can be implemented to like alleviate some of those ailments.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
That's a whole new market for people too.
For real.
It just needs to become lighter, cooler, more accessible, and then promoted well. That's all it takes. And it'll become a new norm.
Lighter. They're definitely developing lighter.
Yo, CES 2023?
Yeah.
Woo.
Like, the MetaQuest Pro just dropped like, I don't know how many dollars, like all of them. It was like $1,500. Now it's like $300. I'm like, what? And that one is built more for AR. Like, as you know, all the functions of the MetaQuest, you know, 2 like hyped up, but
with more actually done.
Yeah. But now they're like trying to aim more for like AR. So I'm like, for that price drop, I might just have to like see what the hell.
I mean, if it's good, I might fuck around and get one.
Like,
I've been thinking about getting a Vive. I'm not gonna lie. I've been thinking about getting, because the HTC Vive, like for virtual production, they're the ones.
Yeah.
And they got the Hive Mars, the Vive Mars and stuff. So for them, it'll be easier to adapt it because it's the same company, HTC. So yeah, I don't know. I gotta see. I gotta keep doing my 360 podcast though.
Oh yeah,
I gotta focus on that shit.
Absolutely, because the more acclimated you get to 360 production, then everything else becomes like easy. Then you know what needs to be where. Yeah. How to set up what. You know, like, because I feel like that's seriously gonna be like the next medium of media. Like, 360 music videos. I saw some 360 performances and I was like, this is a thing. I like this.
It's cool.
But definitely, this is definitely the next medium. Like, you're definitely on the cutting edge.
Oh, we gotta just keep pushing. Right now, I'm at this, not a road, not a crossroad. I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, I need to do animation in the video.
Okay.
Like have like a subscribe now button pop up and do-do-doom and then disappear and come back here and there. But it's in 360. So go boom and then it goes around that side and shit like that.
Yo, like
cool stuff seriously. Like that. That would be hard.
Now I feel like honestly you could ask ChatGPT like, yo, how do I make a 360 floating subscribe button?
Let me ask that shit right now.
Legit.
Let's see.
See, this is how you implement
ChatGPT. Like, yo, but this is what the future is. Like materializing ideas is gonna get faster, and people are scared.
Yeah,
it's like ideas are gonna get materialized faster and faster. Yeah. Would you get a Neuralink? Like if it's like developed, if it's dumb shit's happen.
Yeah, like
it's
all the
fixed,
bugs is out, all the hacks. Yeah,
it's refined.
Yeah. Seriously.
In the first trial, somebody bugged out and hacked into a World Bank and then like, exploded. Seriously. All that shit is like all that years.
Shit. Yeah, all that shit because even if I get a Neuralink, the first thing
localized. If it can be localized.
Oh yeah, because the thing about it is,
but still be connected to a network.
Because like, the first thing I would do is hack the shit. Like every piece of technology I ever had, I hacked the shit. Like,
but yo, that's some high risk hacking. Like, because if you fuck up,
that's
you might shut yourself off. That's a high risk hack.
That's what I'm like. Nah, I gotta.
It's attached to you. Oh no!
Legit, I want to see how the hacks work because
I have faith that you will do your due diligence.
It's a wrap. It is a rap pulling up to the ATM like, what you need? How much?
Nah, you wouldn't need, you wouldn't even, you could probably just read their mind. You would probably have a hack to read their mind if they have one.
For real, honestly, all the black hat hacks out there is insane.
Yo, that's different. That's when we really have Jedi. Yo, imagine if that's what leads to the Jedi.
Black hat hacks, yo. Yeah.
The mental black hat hacks for everybody having these sub-brains.
Yeah. Seriously.
And then we go primitive, and then boom, now we in real Star Wars.
Legit.
Real Star Wars, because the people with the hacks. Generations of those people in like a post-apocalyptic environment.
Yeah, and then each generation with a hack is going to be like more acclimated to that hack. It's going to be create like a weird like digital but genetic code. Like
I want to live a long time, like 800 years. I want to have like upgrades of hacks and shit.
Nah, seriously. Like,
I want to be a wizard.
Yeah, he said I want to be a wizard.
A real life bender, like with elements and
like deadass. I want to be on some like, AI shit. Like if I could be turned in like an AI like with my body, like
would you want to be a cyborg?
Cyborg,
because Android is a human-like machine, and a cyborg is a robotic.
I would want an Android where I can upload my consciousness into it. Like, so I feel like a cyborg. If I'm still like alive, I could be hacked and out. Like, if I'm an Android, it's like delete, like up to the cloud. That ass. If I'm in some,
you can move with a different level of efficiency. You're like everything is one. It's like okay, boom, boom, boom.
Exactly. Like seriously, swap bodies. Like what's some next shit? Like,
but a cyborg is a human base. A cyborg is like it's a human that became
That's what that would be lit though. Like to experience that shit. Like feel that shit. Like oh shit. Like I want some next shit. Like that would be lit.
You seen Cyberpunk 2077?
I've seen the game. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a series on Netflix. Yeah. It's really good.
Oh, a series? Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
It's good. It's anime, like
because I used to read a lot of cyberpunk comics.
It uses the plot of the game, like I don't want to say it, but there's the cyber psychosis shit.
It's not gonna be a spoiler because like ever since I was a kid, I've been reading cyberpunk media since I was a fucking kid. Like I've heard the cyberpunk
I think you'll love
it all the time.
I think you'll love it.
That.
Yeah, just check it out. It's quick too. It's not that long.
One thing anybody should read.
You can bolster your skin and shit too.
Called "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?"
Why have I heard that before? Hold on. Do androids dream of electric sheep? I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah. Dope ass book. It basically puts into perspective, like, all right, it basically explores the idea of an artificial intelligence, but conscious, like basically an artificial consciousness being alive.
Philip K. Dick.
Yes.
Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is a dystopian science fiction novel by American writer Philip K. Dick, first published in 1968. The novel is set in a post-apocalyptic San Francisco where Earth's life has been greatly damaged by a nuclear global war, leaving most animal species endangered or extinct. I will read it.
Definitely.
Oh shit! Followed by Blade Runner 2: The Edge of Humans.
Oh yeah. That's basically Blade Runner is basically the movie version of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Like basically the nigga who wrote Blade Runner read that book and was like, huh, like, I got this idea.
Yeah.
Dope shit. Like dope shit.
Wow.
It really puts a lot of shit into perspective. And honestly, I'm with the smoke.
It's like 111 pages.
Yeah. I'm with the smoke. Yeah, seriously, like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, I'm with the smoke, because that's basically.
Wow. Thank you.
Like, as humans, because like the transhumanism movement has been around for a while.
Are you a transhumanist?
If it's viable, yes. Like, honestly, I can't even say if it's
I'm
viable.
a transhumanist, so
I think
don't even
we all are transhumanists, even if we like it or not.
Yo, this is using phones is an early sign of transhumanism, because we're accessing shit that a human could never.
Yeah, like
we could literally go in a car and do a cross country trip and know exactly where, know exactly how to maneuver. That's God shit.
Yeah, seriously,
that's like, God shit. Like, you know,
that's what I can't even say like
transport and fly in a tin can with other humans using physics.
Yeah,
and get to like from New York to Cali 6 hours.
That changes like how we think and operate as humans. Like, we look at other countries as destinations we can achieve. Like before, when it was just boats, like.
It's like the distant land of.
You had to have like 6 navigators.
Asia.
This motherfucker had to know how to read the stars, and this
niggas thought they was going to India and ended up in South America. Just bare fuckery happened.
Like, seriously, like the idea of like going to distant lands was like a fucking fantasy for people when it was just ships. Like, once planes, that shit is just like
planes, cars.
Oh yeah, cars. Like, what? Like,
horses were like, oh yeah, we used an animal, ha ha ha. Right. Cars were like, no, but this is a machine. You got to put gas. There's oil involved.
It's like, you mean to tell me I could go 40 miles down the road without, like, really?
In a tin can protecting me.
Yep. Seriously.
So even if you try to stop me, I'm going through you.
Yeah, seriously.
This thing is powerful and it moves.
Like,
this will body a horse.
Transhumanism, I think, is just I think that's the step in human evolution that we're experiencing now.
Yeah.
Because our interaction with technology it changes just the way we operate as people. Like, right now, the fact that we're doing a podcast, like, this wasn't even a concept before this technology existed. Like, to do some shit like this, you had to be like Plato and just be in the middle of the fucking square, and like niggas had to really fuck with you to like gather around you, like, yo, when this nigga talk, but now it's a podcast, like, yo, like,
but and it being digital, it can go to an unlimited number of people. The potential, you can just meet somebody new and say, hey, this thing, boom, check it out.
Global communication is such a like,
and global storage of information. That's what it is. Data is crazy right now. Data is being used for the wrong thing. Money. I feel like we need to redefine what money is in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And how money works, because once we redefine that, I think if we can find terms that everybody can agree with, then we'll have some point that'll help human growth. Because right now, I think we go against human growth.
We do.
We slowly get a net positive, but it's out of hatred. It's about jealousy. It's about leverage, and that's slow. But if it's unity, that shit's gonna boom.
It's because that progression is controlled. Like, they have to control how much progression we're allowed to have. But
what if what would be crazy? Another concept that would also be a sick movie: intellectual property. We own these ideas.
Absolutely.
It would be sick if people got to a point where they were just focused on experience. If money was no longer a thing, and I'm not trying to say if it was like the thing with Justin Timberlake, what was it?
What the fuck was that? Time
Lost in Time or some shit?
Some shit like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Where they had time and that was the currency.
Yeah.
Not on something like that, but have abundance being expressed in a different way. Like, what would be another way that abundance can be expressed with? Because money is like power in terms of buying people, buying things.
Yeah,
how else can we express abundance?
Honestly, we can.
I planted 5 million trees. I planted 15. Like, some metric that leads to some positive.
I think if we're able to create some sort of measurable, tradable, anything that represents something tradable that is intrinsic to you, so it doesn't have to, because money
like a personal money,
right?
Not a global money,
right? But something that is intrinsic to you and what you create.
How would we define that? Because somebody could cap and be like, "Oh, this is like my great grandmother necklace." No, they got that at like Chinatown, or like Canal Street.
That type of stuff is like, that stuff is gonna have like sentimental values only for that person. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think it should be something that, like, anything that you create or contribute can be represented in some form that could be tradable. I think that's the point of cryptocurrency. I think people are treating cryptocurrency like it's Forex, like trying to get as much like fiat currency out of it, where it's like, no, the currency itself should be what's traded. Like,
yeah,
if I have a method to, you know, trade Bitcoins or Ethereum or Litecoins between, why am I going to go to a third party to convert it into money and then pay them to then, like, no, like, if we could just trade that currency, we could just, you could literally just say, fuck the entire, like, monetary system. Like, you could literally just say, and each coin can be developed for whatever you create. Like, you create a Zen coin. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Every time somebody buys one of your merch or, you know, listens to one of your songs, like, that coin increases in value.
I feel like cryptocurrency is due for a level up.
Yeah.
Like, general search and general information got leveled up with ChatGPT. Yeah. Now I think it's around time for crypto in general and the blockchain to develop some kind of, like, massive network a massive network and then a massive series of networks that do more than just what a DEX does, like a digital exchange. We needed to interface with us a type of way, like, where it's like you can get more with it, because you know what I mean. Cryptocurrency only goes as far as somebody's belief, truly, because the dollar is, like, regulated around the world in terms of what its equivalent value is. Many countries don't accept crypto because, one, it's new. They don't know who to corrupt. They don't know who to talk to.
Exactly. Like, because that's the thing.
It's decentralized, so it's like they feel away.
It's like, nobody you can flip.
I'm not trying to work with this thing. It's like, and no, because there's nobody to talk to.
The thing about it is it's just a greed thing. That, you know, that they feel powerful in.
But it's the opposite of centralization.
Exactly.
So it's funny.
Once the power is centralized, then you can control it. You get to control who has the most of it, who has the least of it.
Precisely. Who has the most, who has the least, who's skimming off the top. But it also has a distinction almost like animal and plant. Yeah. Yeah. You know? Living, breathing, scared, happy, sad, emotional versus logic.
Right. Versus logic, intrinsic, permacultured. Yeah. Like, seriously, that's the beauty of what cryptocurrency is. It's like, because it's based on its own math, like, the problems within cryptocurrency can solve itself. With money, like with fiat currency, people are gonna have to, like, sit there and regulate the problems of, like, and they're gonna decide what's good and what's bad for, you know, the monetary system. And it's like, with crypto, honestly, that was the purpose of crypto, to, like, push aside the monetary system. I think a lot of the problem that comes from it is a lot of people trying to incorporate it into the monetary system, like, literally trying to make.
It's supposed to be its own system.
Exactly.
It's supposed to represent a new world with its own new resources, right? And just on the side can be connected to the world you know.
Right, exactly.
But it's too invested in the world we know and doesn't have enough infrastructure and its own independent things that are new ideas to the world that are executed with detail and without corruption by people who are, you know what I mean?
And the funny thing is,
on it,
like, right now the UK is working on something called the Britcoin, which is basically
Britcoin?
Yeah, Britcoin.
Oh, word? They about to
UK's centralized.
They about to do it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So they about to make the USDC.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like used.
Right, yeah.
You go to the train, boom. You go to the store, boom. Britcoin.
Which is dangerous because if it's centralized, then they can control who spends what on what. Like,
facts.
You could literally program somebody's money to not be spent on something. Like, if you don't want somebody to buy sugar, they won't, like, every time they try to, like,
if you pull a Kanye, if you do what Kanye did.
Yeah.
If Stormzy did what Kanye did in, like, 5 years. They're gonna be like, oh, he's like, oh, I got 15 million in the bank, and, like,
exactly,
you actually have $15.
Exactly.
And he's like, fuck. And you can't say nothing.
Nothing.
Transaction's not even there. It's just not, the money's just not there.
Right. And that's the beauty of cryptocurrency, but that's how it could be corrupted.
Yeah. And
that's what people are trying to, like, tell people, like, yo, we could replace the monetary system with, you know, a digitally based crypto system, but a lot of people are scared. But with Britcoin, I feel like it's going to put the power of cryptocurrency on the map.
I have an idea of calculation, right? I can express it in logic, but it would have to be expressed in code.
Okay.
It don't have to be, but I would like it to be expressed in code, and that's factoring in that, like, having it not just like a measure of how many people are using it, but a truth metric of how true is it in a community. So, for example, if an area uses a particular coin, like a particular cryptocurrency, let's not even say a coin, a particular cryptocurrency, and those people truly use it. They use it for everything. There should be like a value metric to those people in that area. That value metric is then submitted to, that way it can be evaluated with other coins based on how truly people use it with other communities. That would be like the validation. So if you have a community and you just so happen to build a community of people where they all believe in this particular coin, now you have this community that can also be submitted to a higher standard of actual usage without corruption. But it's like, that's the hard part, measuring it without corruption and making sure it's authentic. But once it's authenticated, then
it's all about what that community will produce.
Exactly.
Like,
it becomes about the output of the community. What's the overall value of that community as another metric?
Right. And if everybody contributes to that output, then everybody gets an equal contribution of, you know, what that cryptocurrency is worth.
That would be a new form of payment.
Yeah. And I feel like if we could set up multiple communities that leverage that, it would create like a tradable currency that people can trade with each other, their personal creations. Like, I feel like things
like an ETF. Like, you know, an ETF is a series of different funds.
Yeah.
It can be kind of like that, but a bunch of different, like a massive amount of ETFs, but each company and each community is just its own thing. It doesn't have to be a company.
Right.
Each community they have their own borders and they understand how to move on a systematic.
Right, and how to trade their resources that they produce with other communities that, you know, create those things.
The community just pays a tax, you know. Uncle Sam need a little bit of money, so boom.
You could, you know, the taxes just literally be to keep the, you know, network running.
But you can get more taxes that way, and you can get it fair.
Yeah.
Because these communities are all registered, they're treated properly. There's no oh, I know your cousin and your sister is my like godmother. No,
all that nepotism shit gotta go.
All that nepotism shit is finito.
Like, seriously.
All the corruption, all the leverage, not games. No. Logic.
Right.
You can do all the other illegal shit
a lot of
within the borders of logic. But don't do that outside of what is logical.
Right. And that's what a lot of cryptocurrencies are based on. Like, they serve a particular function. And the reward for completing that function is the payment of that currency. Yeah. Like, there's a thing called Filecoin.
Oh, yeah, I know about Filecoin. Their ticker's FIL.
Yeah, exactly.
I have some Filecoin.
Yeah, like, the way they function is basically like keeping, like, you know...
It's like a decentralized cloud.
Yeah.
A decentralized cloud that you can access very fast.
Exactly.
Once they have the infrastructure set up sexy, shit like that is going to blow. Like, people look at crypto now like, oh, yeah, it's dead in the water. It was a fad, ha.
Yeah, because everybody's trying to trade it for money, and it's like, no, like, it actually has a function. Like,
the people who are saying that it's dead in the waters they don't go into it. They've never seen the advancements within cryptocurrency that are just, like, new, like of its own.
Right, the science of blockchain technology. Ultimately, what cryptocurrency is blockchain technology. Yeah.
That's the world's introduction to blockchain technology.
Yeah, it's just being implemented in different ways. Each different implementation is just a different coin.
Yeah.
Now, there are scammers out there. There are people out there talking about how this coin
that's what goes viral, kind of like with media. In the media, crypto's views are, it's like a lot of a scam.
Yeah.
Bankman, whatever Fried, whatever his name.
Oh yeah, like that FTX shit.
Yeah, the FTX guy. Like, all these things are what attracts people, kind of like in the media, the extremes.
Right. And the funny thing is, it comes back.
Attracts people.
It comes back to like our original
outlier.
Yeah, it comes back to our original point with these people are just too damn old. Like, you can't sit there and explain like new emerging digital technology to an 80-year-old who has no interest in it. Right. So he's gonna be like, oh yeah, whatever, green light. And then, he's gonna like get him for all the money he can. Like, that's the problem. Yeah.
We link up here. I got a couple bean bags, or like use these comfortable shits. Boom, get relaxed and plug in. Boom, and we're there. We can smell the same things. It's a collective of information that we're plugged into.
What should happen, especially with things like UFC fights and shit,
like on some Black Mirror Matrix shit.
Like, instead of having like the fighters come out and like do the whole shit, but because we're in a digital world, change the shit up.
Yeah,
make this nigga a motherfucking gladiator on some next ass planet. Like, create an environment in which human connection is possible.
Yeah,
because like if it's
you could make them fight in real life and have certain like weighted look at the like weighted what you call it? We can have weighted values to like different layers of clothing.
Right. No, there could be haptic feedback on the whole thing. Like, you could turn like, combat sports into like a, an insane digital spectacle. You can turn any sport into an insane digital spectacle.
That's a fact. If you have like weighted, like let's say if you have like maybe a couple of inches of like layer on everybody, right. And you know each of those layers have a certain weight. So let's say for example they're like these centaur, like you know centaur right. creatures, right?
Right.
They have like all different weights all around them, and they're really fighting. And right. all those weights are like there, even if it's not physically on their body, it's like a structure attached to them right. to represent what that is.
Yeah.
As they fight, boom, boom. That comes off, you see blood and you see other shit.
Like, seriously.
Boom. Piece of the helmet comes off. That's that thing's like ear or something like that.
Seriously.
And you know what I mean? Like,
you can
attach
really,
values.
like, you can really like create like an insane digital like spectacle.
Hell yeah. And then you can make them actual UFC fighters trying to knock each other out. Like, so they're really trying to like go funny? For the kill, like boom, boom, boom.
Sometimes I watch like there's like these memes that people put together.
That would be a game show though.
Like there's memes that people put where like they'll show like UFC knockouts, but they'll put like Dragon Ball Z fucking graphics over the shit.
Yeah.
Yo, like people could really watch a fight like that, like literally the same graphics, the same output, bro. Like
that would be fire.
What? Like
that would be fire.
What? Put 360 cameras all around the fucking what?
You capture the shit in 360 and then take all that data and fucking do cool ass maneuvers.
You could change the environment instead of the fucking octagon. Could literally be the fucking Coliseum.
Yeah, like, if they pre-record it, like they could just like it could be easy because you could do this in post. Like I'll show you editing this in post. It's pretty chill. Like,
post editing, you can do some crazy shit.
Because you have an unlimited amount of you could do barrel rolls and do whatever and move however you want. Like it's different.
Nah, you could change.
When these cameras get like stay this tiny and do like 8K and all sorts of crazy high resolution quality, oh my god!
The whole
I'm gonna be on it.
All sports franchises could be like changed.
I'm gonna be on that shit just for the sake of the podcast alone.
Yeah, seriously.
But for like doing videos and shit, like, because this shit is good.
Nah, it is.
But like, they're gonna keep getting better. Like as the glasses keep getting better, the requirements of cameras are going to have to get better. The requirements of everything will get better.
Right. It's always going to keep evolving.
Yeah.
It's always going to keep evolving. And the way that media is going to be absorbed is going to have to be more and more intrinsic.
I think after this year, it's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
I think this year is going to be like a bunch of AI advancement where people go, what the hell?
It is.
Because we started the year, we got ChatGPT on point.
Yeah. Just the
That's revolution.
Already had like 47 updates. Like,
boom.
Just like seriously.
Big VR update, big information update. What else is this? Is bare shit happening. We're only internet, in February.
Like Web3 updates. Like Web3 is becoming more and more accessible to like people. Like seriously.
Crypto's in a higher place than it was in the last quarter of 2022.
Yeah.
So crypto's going up. Things are happening.
Access to like,
stocks are starting to, you know what I mean, get out the gutter.
Nah, technology is really starting to become more and more implemented into how people live their lives, which is really going to like
mad people got fired. Mad people got fired.
This is true.
Google dropped 14K people, I think.
Yeah.
Somebody else dropped 12K. Who was that? Was it Amazon or was it
I think it was Amazon.
How much did Meta drop? 11?
Meta dropped like
11?
And they lost like
12
billion.
Shit.
Yeah. Because they went
downsizing.
Hard. They went hard on that metaverse, and like the output that they got was trash. Like the metaverse that they built was trash. Like
it was too many promises.
Yeah,
it was way too many promises.
There was several metaverses already in existence that are like much better. Like VR chat is insane. Like Neos used to be out of control. Like Neos was like if you ever seen the movie Ready Player One, like Neos was like the closest to Ready Player One in VR. Like insane. Like especially the way. Because not only was it an open metaverse where you can explore, but it was also a development platform. So like anything you wanted to add to the VR environment, the tools were right there. So like you could learn VR development just playing the game.
So what's like an example of something that you could do with the tools that they give you?
You could literally create an entirely new VR game.
Word?
Seriously, yeah. Seriously.
Like, well, okay, because when you say that makes me think of like Halo 3 custom games. You remember Halo 3 custom games?
Shit like that.
The community was crazy.
Yeah.
So what is this community like?
That community, well, since it's no longer around.
Yeah. What was it like?
What was it like? It was pretty much like, you ever play Second Life?
Yes, I have.
I imagine Second Life, but in VR, like in an actual like.
So everybody has their avatars and their mouth moves and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
based on what, because you could use different headsets. So if your headset had mouth tracking, you could see people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
or
dope.
if you had PlayStation Move Camera or Kinect, if you had a Kinect, you was good because you get full body tracking easy.
That's hard.
For a cheap ass fucking Xbox Kinect camera, it's like
that's hard.
Seriously, full body tracking. So it was like it was a fully immersive.
Well, when was this out?
This was out, I would say 2017.
That's crazy. That's 2017 and we in 2023.
Yeah. It's not around anymore. VR chat is still around, which is constantly getting better and better. But yeah, there's several metaverses. I've gone on
VR chat a little bit. Like, have you been on VR chat a lot?
Nah, not a lot. Because it's...
what's your take on VR chat? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Indifferent? Like, how do you feel?
I feel like VR chat is what a lot of open world, like MMORPG games become. Like, it's just a giant sandbox. Yeah. Where it's like, so many of the exploits have happened that in order to fully experience VR chat, I feel like the learning curve is like way too far for like new people right now.
Yeah.
I feel like if you get into it right now, you'll be able to do simple shit, but all the cool shit,
yeah,
it'll take a bit of a learning curve. So I feel like there's other metaverses out there to explore that, because there's metaverses for each function you want. If you just want to watch movies with your friends, there's shit.
Yeah.
Just invite everybody to a virtual space. Y'all watching movies in the same space but separately.
Yeah.
Which is so cool, which is so fucking cool, because it reminds me of Star Trek.
It is. There was one that my cousin put me onto. Shit. I forgot the name of it, but it's like a whole virtual space. You can send like codes and stuff. People can come in.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot the name. Spatial.
Okay,
Spatial.io. That's what it was called. Spatial.
You know what? I know it's exactly when you
Spatial was dope. I had like a nice like studio art gallery thing with light in the middle. I put mad grass in the middle of the place. It was crazy.
Yeah. That's another thing. VR real estate is going to be a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be a thing.
I own land in Decentraland.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Nice.
When Decentraland enables VR, I think it's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Like, honestly, all these technologies have just been waiting for VR.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like NFTs in particular have been waiting for VR, because creating digital assets, it's fun, it's cool, but it's like, where can you implement them? If I create, a fly pair of sneakers in Unity, where am I going to wear them? Like, I could probably put them on a character, then I have to like upload that asset into something. But it's like, no. What you want is your, digitally created Jordans. Like, when people look at your feet, they're like, oh shit. Now, as AR becomes more and more implemented, like, that's going to become fashion. Like,
hell yeah,
your own digital AR fashion.
With some kind of authentication code built in.
Seriously. Like,
there's going to be people who are going to be cracking them codes. You know that. People are going to be taking
There's going to be bootleg digital fashion.
Yo, bootleg digigital fashion.
Fake digital Gucci's. Like, cool.
Yo, but those digital Gucci's are going to be better than Canal Street. They're going to be better. They're going to be better.
Like, seriously, it's going to
be on point, but the code is just a code.
Yeah, it literally.
It's numerical. You
and that's going to become something implemented in somebody's daily fucking...
Somebody's going to have their AI, like, program their AI to start modding shit. So when it grabs that, it switches the code automatically. Boom, puts it on.
Exactly. Seriously.
Then they're going to have to make some kind of, like tracker for that.
Yeah, seriously.
But somebody's gonna get away with that shit for a while.
NFTs, because the code itself is already on the blockchain.
Yeah.
So if you make some fly shit, like somebody tries to copy it, like it's on the blockchain.
Exactly.
You can't. Like
that's the beauty of the blockchain. The one of oneness of it is there. But what if somebody makes a new entry with a different code on the blockchain, authenticates it at that moment? But it's just the image of what it is, but it's a different.
So somebody's gonna have to implement,
and then they just add a link to the other one,
right?
You just add a link to the OG,
deadass,
and make it so you just see the OG.
Yo,
boom, redirect.
Yo, that's gonna be the new bootleg shit. That's gonna be the new bootleg
we giving y'all game.
Yo, we giving y'all bad game.
The intellectual property is given to us.
That's going to be the bootleg shit. You're going to put on your AR glasses. You're going to see somebody's link to some fly
That's the
shit.
fundamental of it. That's how it works. That's the mechanism.
Seriously. It's going to be mad like, yo, you're going to be like, yo, is this shit official? Or
That's
is
the formula.
Like,
yeah.
Yo, nah, it's going to be the new bootleg shit.
That's the formula.
Everybody's rocking links. Like, yo. Nah, that's going to be the new formula. But as far as
That's not going to be cracks no more. It's going to be a link.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, you got the link?
Yo,
shit! You got the Lamborghini link
for real,
and you got the Martian shoes. No, that don't make no sense.
Like for real, your Toyota gonna look like a Lamborghini in AR glasses with the right NFT. Like, yo, oh my god, like seriously, that's going to change as far as like value assets. Like no longer is people going to be spending like mad bread trying to cop their first Ferrari. It's like, nah.
Would you change like your arms, legs, or eyes, or like a vital part of your body for like like an advanced like robotic, like a digitized kind
I
of version
would
of
definitely, if it was available, I would get an eye that allows me.
Yeah, you can feel.
Yeah, I would get an eye that allows me to see different spectrums.
You a whole anime character. A robotic eye is hard.
Like literally,
it somehow links with the other eye, and you can see perfectly. But you could also go on some monoscopic shit.
Yeah, that ass.
See
like
with that one, but see like a mile,
I want like
2 miles down.
Full visual spectrum. I like that ass. I want a Byakugan. Like that ass. Like if I want to turn it X-ray, I want to turn it infrared. If I want, like,
would you do it to both?
To both?
Yeah,
nah.
To make it balanced. Because once it's balanced.
Oh, once it's balanced,
because think about the peripheral vision too.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
You can see some like think about this. This lens, like the eye is not too off. This is like 108, almost 180. The other side is almost 180.
Right. That's insane. Like,
so imagine you're seeing like,
yeah, that would be insane. I would love it in at least one eye because I don't know the vulnerabilities of having like I don't know what it will be vulnerable to. So I want at least one fucking like organic eye that can still operate organically.
Fair.
Because I don't like.
What if it's something where
shut down? Like,
what if there's a thing that it's just like attached, and you can just put something in? You know,
like if I could just attach something,
like an attachment, like a filter,
Yeah, it'll be a fucking wrap.
Like your eyes have the capability of it.
Yeah,
but it's just a filter.
Yeah, seriously.
It could be something maybe up here that it connects to, and you go, yeah, you go take that off.
Oh yeah, that ass. I will. What?
That would be hard. That would be hard.
Every other villain puts himself in a position where it's like, I'm ultimately going to win. Like I've left, my opposition with no chance but to lose.
Yeah.
He'll put himself in that position and take a risk.
Yeah, he'll eat that.
Fuck you up.
Facts. He'll finesse every last person he needs to if it comes down to it, but he might not even need it.
That ass. Like there was one episode where like dude
I'm
was
about to use the bathroom.
All right,
yo, you want water?
Matter of fact, I got some water in this bag right. I'm good. All right.
Hold that thought.
Got you. Yeah. On the 1166 podcast, the first and only 360 podcast. So if you have access to a VR headset or if you're on your computer or mobile phone, this podcast can be viewed 360 degrees. Let's go to the 1166 YouTube. Wagwan. Nah, seriously. Everybody listening. G Major is like one of my favorite artists ever. Dope rapper. One of the, like, as far as like exploring grime in the United States, she's one of the people I like linked up with early, and like she really does this shit. So if you ever get a chance, like seriously, check out that G Major for real. Like, not like that ass. Like, I was just showing one of my homies like the session we did on Rinse FM. Body and shit. Like, she was amazing. That ass. So right now the homies had to step out real quick. So I'm just in there having a little sip. Yo, I love you too, like dead ass. Like, for real. I really don't like fuck with a lot of people. Anybody that knows me knows I really don't fuck with a lot of people. Like, and I especially don't give praise to anything that's whack. So if I say somebody's nice, like somebody's really on it, it's the motherfucking truth. There's no debate about that. Lord of Ciphers, first of his name, breaker of codes, unfooled, father of owls. Can't believe I didn't say that in the beginning of this. Oh man. Absolutely. Nah, for real. Because I already like probably spoke about the UK already, but seriously. Homie BLKZEN. Right now I'm just talking to the people on the internet about my homegirl G Major. Now she be really killing shit. Like, really killing
was G
shit.
Major she was a female rapper that you was rapping with when you was in the UK, yeah?
Absolutely.
I remember y'all were going in. I remember.
Absolutely.
G Major's dope. Shout out to G Major.
Shout out G Major. Seriously. And that's coming from BLKZEN, another one of my favorite musicians. Like,
that's an honor, thank you.
As I said before, like, I really don't praise anything that doesn't affect me or touch me or like, really move me. So if I say BLKZEN is one of the best in the motherfucking in this motherfucking thing, it's the motherfucking truth. So
I appreciate it.
Seriously, shout out both of y'all. Like I really feel blessed to like know both of y'all. Like,
yo, we should do like a collab with all three of us. That'd be hard.
Yeah, nah, seriously.
Would G-Major be with it?
Oh, like G-Major,
you with it? What's up? Let's
really
collab.
Think she be with it. Like I really think she'd be with it. I'm not gonna sit there and speak for her. Like she's a person with her own schedule.
Yeah, we got.
She be doing big things.
Oh yeah,
big things going, major moves. Seriously. But seriously, if that could happen, that'll be a motherfucking...
That'll be a vibe.
Seriously. Now, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Yes. Lelouch he was just so intricate to the end of the show. I was just like, wow.
I think Lelouch...
In chess, I feel like he would just two-piece everybody.
Yeah.
Two-piece,
chess
boom, boom.
represented like how his thinking structure was. But I think that anime represented just how powerful... strategic thought is.
Yes.
Because it's like a lot of anime
it can be taken far.
Yeah. A lot of anime show off like how powerful somebody could be. Like, oh yeah, they're a planet buster.
Physically.
They're like, they could destroy a galaxy. It's
his
like, all right.
mental. Like the anime like that, Death Note. I love those kind of anime that challenge logic and have people predicting and doing these things that we want computers to do. Yeah. But
basically
doing those
implementing game theory in real life. Like,
so okay, well, what do you think are going to be the next things that we want computers to do that they can't do that a human can potentially do?
I think what we want is ultimately
I think we want control of. Yeah, I think we want like.
Because control
of communication to other humans and interfacing with other humans.
Oh yeah, interfacing, that's definitely going to become a thing. Like we're going to interface like much, much deeper. Like I think
no more pins and you gotta remember this password and that password.
Yeah. I think it's going to be as easy as like thinking about somebody and like being able to connect, like create some sort of like network bridge between them.
Yeah.
It's going to become that. But I think what people want is like real collaboration with like machines, streamlined, like intuitive collaboration. Like
I want to create art like that. I want to collaborate with the machine and express ideas because that's the thing that will have us able to still interface with the machines and still be an artist after machines are used as tools and how we view an artist changes. I think that like with machines and creative ass ideas that have never been done before, like truly new ideas.
Like you said before, like art is going to become creating new shit. Like
it has to be.
Just participating in art is not going to be enough. You have to create new shit.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough to just participate.
Yeah, because all the participation going to be done by computers. Like all the hit songs going to be made by fucking machines. Like you're going to have to make a song that nobody heard before. Like what? Like what?
Yeah,
which is going to be the fun part. That's going to be the fun part.
I'm excited that's what's going to be left.
The artists from the
from the entertainers, like just the ones who are there, like
just the ones who are there. Like seriously, I feel like there's a word for that. Like I feel like there's a specific word for that.
The phonies.
Yeah.
The phonies.
The posers.
The same way how like a beat maker is not necessarily a producer.
Yeah.
An entertainer, like in the realm of music at least, like an entertainer is not
necessarily
so
a musician,
like a real musician,
but not necessarily to take away from entertainment.
No, entertainment is necessary.
Like there is a skill in that.
Used, exactly.
There is a skill in that. Even if you don't write your own shit, to be able to go out there and perform the shit, there is a skill in that. You got to have the charisma. You got to have the stage presence.
Entertainment controls people.
Yeah.
Entertainment is powerful. People. Yeah.
But if you can use entertainment to create a sense of like false mindfulness, that's when we got it fucked up.
Yeah, when you're able to transport people.
Yeah.
When you transport people, then it's like, when it's immersive music, it gets different.
Oh yeah, immersive music,
motherfuckers.
Yeah, and I think that's where technology is moving to, because just absorbing music in its current medium, it's like, okay, but the problem is, it's becoming so formulaic that it's interfering with how artists are producing music. Like there's people who can create amazing shit, but it's like the formulaic nature of how songs are being created is fucking up shit. Like people are trying to create songs for algorithms instead of people.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we need to find
people
a way to separate.
People are creating for results opposed to creating for the sake of creation and having something be what it is meant to be.
Bringing something new into the world. So I think creating immersive music is going to be like the fucking step. Like,
but you know what it is? It's the fat getting trimmed off.
Yeah.
If we look at reality and we look at history, fat gets trimmed off. We get used to the trimmed off fat. Eventually, more fat comes back. Then we have to eventually trim the fat off again. And it's like, you know, there's a time and a place for like pop shit, and then it oversaturates. Right. Like I remember me and Steve, and Karina, we were at this guy Cisco. We were at his just studio in the city. Shout out to Cisco.
Okay.
And I had this analogy that I brought up where I was saying people are gonna get tired of McDonald's music, and when they're ready, and for like the actual nutrition, we'll be ready. Yeah, we'll be there. So yeah, that's what it is. We're hitting that saturation point where people are like, they need the vegetables, they need water, they need coconut water. Yeah.
Niggas is getting scurvy. That's basically what's happening.
Getting scurvy. They need like some oranges. Yes, we need apples and grapes. Been feeding
them fat and sugar for like decades, and now they're like,
all right, water's not cutting it. It's like
That's why music right now, the most sensational music right now, is literally about people killing each other. Like, and it's not even about people killing each other. It's like, no, they're committing these murders and then screaming about it. It's like, when you listen to these songs, they're not mastered. They're not like, the vocals are not EQ'd. Yeah. Like, it's literally just confessions of crime.
They taboo. Exactly. It's just taboo.
Like,
it's dead ass taboo.
It's dead ass taboo. And it's like, that's because.
Down to my face tag.
Dead ass.
In the apex, on the apex, on the predator, you pray, but you pray next. You know what I mean? It's like
legit. It's just, and it's like a lot of the shit that's coming out. It's like literally confessions of crimes. It's like, why?
Confessions of crimes.
It's like, why? Shot him on the stoop. Shot him. He tried to get his troop. I shot, and it's like, why are you telling? Like,
why are you confessing?
I think it's because
if this isn't cap, you're like, dumb.
It's because
you're mud. Wait. Do you think Kwengface is dead ass?
Nah, they dead ass out there. They dead ass.
You think?
They dead ass. But as long as they keep the lingo slick,
fair.
Keep yourself out of that type of trouble.
He does say it's slick. He
keeps the lingo slick. That's why he's like, if it wasn't for this music thing, Deader in jail with Kwengface ended up. Like, that's why they got to
It's the peng. This is a lot now.
They got man like Kwengface, but seriously, it's like the reason why they just going raw and just straight up confessing their crimes because the substance of the music has been stripped. That's like the only way you're gonna get any like reaction out of somebody.
You gotta be dead ass.
You just gotta be dead ass.
You have to be dead ass.
Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares
music
about.
has to be real. It has to just be
it's
like
just raw. Like,
yo, what it is.
I murdered this person on this date. Like, and it's like.
Then I had to get back to living like that day.
Like, come on, come on. And that's how these songs are being made because, like you said, like eventually it's just gonna be all computerized. Yeah. So in order.
You got to be different. You need to be so specific that it's just like...
Right, where people, it's like, nah, this really happened. Like, you really shot this dude. Like, because everything else is just, ghostwriters just coming up with whatever sounds like.
Yeah.
And people are sick of it.
The ghostwriters who are just trying to do for like, a particular thing like that, they are more so, in my opinion, going to be what gets replaced opposed to that person who sits down with it by themselves and goes,
No, ghostwriters are a dime a dozen. Like, ghostwriters are a dime a dozen. Like, actual legit, like,
they can be replaced,
writers.
But, exactly. A skill writer who goes through with it, like a Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
Frank Ocean is different. When you have certain people who just stand out and are just nice.
Yeah, well, good songwriters, they're going to, like, stick around. Ghostwriters are going to be a dime a dozen. But as far as, like, music that's being, like, created, like you said, like, it's going to have to be new shit or nothing. Like, it's going to have to be game-changing or nothing.
New shit, or you're a coding person and you're just helping, like,
because you can, at this point, you can easily be replaced by a fucking AI. Yeah. Before, you could easily be replaced by an artist waiting for their turn on a label. They got, like, stacks of them.
Now it's a whole digital slave version.
Yeah, now it's like you could be, so it's like, unless you create new shit, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, you could just make it work indefinitely.
Yeah. That's why these labels are trying to buy up every little drill artist, because it's like, yo, you're going to jail anyway. Like, you want to get your song popping, you're going to jail anyway. We're going to keep the money.
Yeah.
So it's like now...
And they're going to train an algorithm off your music and then replace your ass.
Yeah, that's what I think is the next step. Because, like, once you squeeze... I think they squeeze
They're going to squeeze the essence. They're going to take your data, your you-ness, your soul.
Pretty much. Because before, they were trying to capture the essence of what urban music was for decades.
Yeah.
It was like, is it drug dealers? Is it gangs? Is it trap shit?
It's the dope man. It was the dope man. The dope man has been...
Yeah.
The dope man is one of the biggest
trap
influences.
Shit was the thing. Before that, it was gangster rap. Before that was mafioso rap. Like, every time they tried to, like... Because the thing about it is that each one of these styles of music was never meant for radio. It was never meant for radio.
They were all
trap
taboo.
Shit, rapping about bagging up cocaine and that shit was never... They were chatting taboo. It was never meant for radio.
Yeah.
the industry got air of how popular the shit was and started creating their own artists. Like,
they
was like, all right, yeah, we could whip up a nigga that raps about cocaine real quick. Like, that's what you want. Like, and then,
but it didn't taste good because it didn't have it was soul food without soul.
Exactly.
So they said, damn.
Right.
Oh wait, this is different. We got to get them. Hey,
they was like, all right, how are we gonna get them?
Come, I'll take you out of your environment.
Exactly.
Look, you have everything you need.
For real.
You know what I mean?
Sprinkle a little credibility on it.
Yeah, you know.
And
give me cook.
Right.
Go in the kitchen. Go in the kitchen
and cook up that shit.
Make
that
up the food. Like, go make that food that we need.
Right. And as once they saturated
you
max
got all the ingredients you need?
Yeah.
You got all the ingredients you need?
Once trap became an EDM genre, they was like, all right, we're done. Like, we done milked all the trap shit out of trap. Like, once it became an EDM genre, like, if you look up trap, you're not going to find OJ the Juice Man and Gucci Man. You're going to find Skrillex.
It's been like that a while.
Like, you're going to find Flostradamus. Like, that's what it was like, all right, we done did it. Now they're going to do it with drill. Like, now they got pop singers on drill tracks, so it's like, wow.
Drill is getting drill is getting like gentrified.
They're gentrifying the fuck out of drill.
But it has to be something new. I love drill, and I always appreciate the drill music that has come out.
I'm always going to appreciate real people making real shit. Like, the quality of it, that's where.
But once it starts getting.
Yeah, once it starts getting
generalized,
everybody's a drill rapper. Everybody's on the drill track. Then it's like, all right, this is
we're hitting the end.
Yeah, like we're getting to the end. So now
it's like when somebody's Auntie Clara starts saying, "That's mad dope, B."
It's like, we done with dope.
That's out. We done with mad. We done with dope. We done with B. That's clipped.
But it's like, I think the next step, because they really squeezed the shit out of drill. Like,
facts.
Between, like, now they got niggas that straight up confessing murders in their tracks where it's like, all right, now you can't even make a drill track without, like, you gotta put that
snitching on yourself
on top of it. So it's like, nah.
Snitching.
So now that's why they got pop singers in it, because, like, it's like, all right, we can't make no money off of this shit no more. So now pop singers gonna start doing drill tracks.
We're talking about that in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You seen the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That us.
When it was like, yo, you out, big, what's his name? Paperboy. He's like, yo, you gotta find you like a young white boy who got some clout. He got a little drug addiction.
You ain't in the street no more. Like, unless you do some street shit, like that's what they want. They want that paperwork. They want that evidence of you being a criminal, which is like, listen, like, like, nah.
Then he had that one kid with him. He was like, yo, you want me to manage you?
Like, that's what's gonna become. And then a lot of times, like, the crazy shit is, a lot of these guys aren't even like that. Like,
it's a persona.
Like,
it's an actual persona.
And it goes too fucking far. That's the problem. Like, a lot of them, like, I feel like a lot of them know, if you're smart, you know how to dance that line. Like, seriously, you know how to dance that line of like, all right, am I a gangster? Am I not? Like, I can portray myself as a gangster, but I don't never have to put in no work. I got like, but it got to a point where social media and people becoming so much more accessible where it's like, damn, like, I can't even fake it no more. Like, fuck, I'm actually have to do some shit where it's like, you're not even that type of person. Yeah. You are not a criminal. But in order to make your
that's not you, to make people think that you
to make your career relevant, like you gotta get out. Now you gotta go outside yourself. Now you gotta
actually do something that you're not about to feed the lie that you are about that thing.
Exactly.
What is goofy? Goofy. It's like, what
that's
is
the
this?
goofiest shit ever. It's
what
like, yo, you're not about that life, so you do some shit to become about that life for no reason. Like, you weren't put in that position.
Because you want that image. You want it so bad you're willing to lie.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And take on that risk of potentially causing irreparable damages to yourself.
You're about to do some next shit because in order
you want to cap.
Right.
You want to cap.
Which creates this it creates like this weird barrier where it's like, all right, now you done did all of this shit, but you still not about that life. You done killed somebody, you done robbed somebody, and you still not even that. Like, you still like you doing this to portray
you damaged and it wasn't what you thought it was.
Exactly. Like, why? So,
now
your song can get views, like, for a song?
Makes no sense.
Like, this is what the industry has turned a lot of rappers into, which
it's
is
a stereotype
crazy.
of rap. It's a stereotype of hip hop right now, and it's like,
which creates this.
That's not the hip hop that neither one of us knows,
right? Because hip hop is music.
Traditionally, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I remember when Lil Wayne was the greatest rapper alive.
Right, yeah, like Lil Wayne is the greatest rapper alive to some.
And then we go
Jay-Z's
back.
the greatest rapper alive to others.
We go back to the blueprint. We go back
at the end of the day, both of them were rappers. Like, they spit bars that people felt, like, that react. Like, at the end of the thing about it is that
And we don't even gotta mention like Biggie, Tupac, or anything. We talking about Jay-Z, Ye, Wayne, Eminem.
The industry created this weird dichotomy where it's like it's a correlation between hip hop and criminality, where it's like
it's a stereotype. Like it's a stereotypical view of somebody looking down.
And criminality are the same thing. Like rap and criminal shit are one and the same. Where it's like
it's a condescending stereotype.
It is. That's why when Miley Cyrus got up there and said, "Oh, she stopped doing hip hop because the lifestyle was." It's like no. Those are the choices you made. Like, if you decided to smoke and drink and do ratchet shit, that's because you decided
was your
to do
choice.
That. Yeah. Don't make it seem like, because you was rapping, that's what you had to do. To get the fuck out of my face with that. That's
you chose that life.
Yeah, that's why I don't appreciate how the hip-hop industry is really correlating criminality with hip-hop. Because it's like, every rap is not a criminal. Like, you don't have to be a criminal to rap. Like, that shit is stupid.
That's not where hip-hop comes from. That's not what hip hop is about.
That's not where it came from. It's not
about talking about real shit in the community. What's like real things was happening.
Right. Period. That's the thing. Like they were criminals.
And people started capping.
And they did music to get out of crime.
Facts.
But that doesn't make every rapper fucking criminal.
Exactly. And there were other people who was just living in the hood.
Yeah. Just living in there, trying to make it out, trying to do something better. Like
a modern version of that is Kendrick Lamar. That's a modern version. Simple. Like he was like, yo, I seen it. I was around it. I was like a victim of it to a degree. But I also did what I had to do. I have my own experiences in that.
Like there's choices that people more common. Like, some people see the shit that's around them and decide, you know what, this is life. I'm gonna emulate that. I'm gonna do the same shit. Some people's like, you know what, I see this shit in front of me. I'm gonna turn it into art. I'm gonna make songs about it. Like you always have a choice to make. But I feel like the music industry is trying to make it seem like the only choice you have is
destruction.
Like which is so fucked up because it's like hip hop was supposed to be the way out. Now they're treating hip hop as a way into crime. Like if you're gonna be a rapper, you got like what kind of backward shit is that?
Yeah, it's like instead of the people of this community where hip hop is originated in, instead of y'all using it as a means out, we're gonna just use it as a means to get into you
we're
and
gonna,
just
we're gonna reverse the gates. Like,
inject ourselves into you.
Instead of using the gates to keep you out, now we're gonna
take samples and shit and just keep taking bare samples and bleed you dry until we find what makes you tick.
Exactly.
That's the response that we have.
It is.
But that's why music has to be different.
You tick, but it's like forcing you into a particular operating style because they're the ones that control what happens in your career. So let's say if you're an artist and you drop some shit about, trying to make it out there on some positive shit, they're like, yeah, we're not gonna put this on the album because we don't feel that it works with our. But if you make some shit about killing a nigga or killing a nigga that you like, the nigga like, you know what? We're gonna put this on the radio, it's gonna be your #1 hit, you're gonna perform this everywhere. Like it really ends up creating an image of you that's like, because that might not be you. That might be the only song you ever did on some hood shit. Yeah. Just to meet, obligations.
But they want that to represent you.
They gotta turn you into that. Now you that nigga.
That's 10% of one. That's like 10% of you, but they want that to represent 80% of you and want the perception to be that.
Exactly. Because that's what's gonna make them the most money, the sensational.
Let's just magnify that part a little bit. Yeah.
Because people that never experienced that's gonna be sensational to them. Hearing about murders and all that type of, if you live a life that never experienced any of that shit was always peachy keen, white picket fence, you went to soccer practice on Sundays, like hearing this type of shit in music, like you're gonna be like, what? Like I wanna hear more of it. This is what I'm spending my money on. Like if Macklemore and King Von is coming to your fucking town to perform, you're gonna spend your money on fucking, like, you're gonna go to where the sensation is. Like
facts.
So it's like that's really what they're pushing, which is fucking exploitive. Like it's really putting niggas in like this weird zoo shit where it's like your life is a spectacle for my entertainment. It's like what the fuck? Like what the fuck? Your life is like literally it turns your life into a spectacle where it's like, you know what, people that never experienced this find this entertaining. Like they find this entertaining. This is what they listen to where it's like, this is my motherfucking life. Like but it's like as long as people don't make that connection, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Hence why they will snatch up any nigga looking like he in trouble. Any nigga looking like he about to serve 8 to 10, yo, come in the studio.
Like, is he authentic? Is he really from the streets? Okay, cool.
Legit, like is he really?
But would he like actually listen? Like would he actually slap me?
Like
I mean, maybe. I bring him.
Give somebody enough money and you got them. Like a lot of these kids never seen like because
they never seen 10 racks.
Like for real.
Oh, here's
these guys have billions.
Here's a quick advance. I just came to you to give you 10 bands.
10
bands. Anyway, this is the plan.
Exactly. We're gonna take this song. We're gonna own it. You're gonna keep this song, and then if you do more songs, we'll negotiate.
I'll give you another 50,000.
That ass.
I give you another 100,000.
So it's like it just creates a sensationalism that like it's fucking bad. Where it's like No.
It's abuse.
It's abuse, like, for real. Like, in order to fucking get on, I gotta make a fucking diss record against some nigga I don't even know. And, like,
it's pretty fucked up.
Like, for real, like, nah.
Orchestrating beef.
Like, seriously, orchestrating beef. That's another thing. That is another thing. These record labels will orchestrate a beef just to create a sensation in order to get people to, you know, tune in. Like, it's like a fucking soap opera. It's fucking bad. It's fucking bad. Hence why I always advocate for independent artists. That's why I fucking advocate for independent artists, because it's like, that's the only way to make music, honestly. Like,
yeah.
That's the only way to make art.
It's
Like,
pure.
nobody can sit down and tell you how to make art.
It's pure.
They can teach you the techniques of creating art, but they can't tell you what art to make.
Exactly.
And it be authentic. Like,
they
it's
can
always
give
going
you
to be
tools, but they can't give you the goal every single time. That has to come from you. And if you subscribe to their goal, you've stripped yourself of
then
your own vision.
Yeah, that is. You're not an artist. You're an
hooked
employee.
on their vision. Yeah, you're an employee to their vision instead of
like that. Is like
instead
of being
vision.
an artist. Like instead of authentically expressing yourself, you become an employee. It's like you create the art that they need you to make money.
Yeah,
which is honestly which is a lot of mainstream music. Like they like the music industry is like, all right, make this, and they make it. So it's like instead of being artists, they're employees.
Yep.
Which is bad because I feel like people should spend their money on art. Like,
but that's the beauty of like progressively making artistic music that is its own.
Right.
You know, that's the benefit in that.
Like seriously, always finding a way to express yourself honestly, and that can happen in so many.
And have it make sense. You know what I mean? In a way where people could grasp onto it. Obviously, it's just like making sure you love it.
Yeah,
because it's like
seriously.
Chances are, if the person who made it loves it, there's other people who are gonna love it. But like genuinely loves it, not just on some like, oh, it's mine, so I love it. Like
it's like
damn,
like what does it like? Does it connect to you? Like for real? Does it connect to you? Like the words, the melodies, shit like does it connect to you? And it's like yes, this is why I listen to this shit.
Thanks.
Which is honestly, it's like I think people should take their media diet more seriously.
So their media diet?
Yeah. Like the media they consume, I think they should take it as serious as like the food they consume, anything they consume. Like
it's part of what they're perceiving in life.
Yeah.
It's part of what they sense.
Yeah, it's part of what they sense and it's part of what affects you.
Yeah, it will. It will always affect you. Everything we eat, everything we see, everything we touch, all of our experiences, the cumulative effect of that plays a vital role in our existence on this planet.
Absolutely. And I think the media that we create and we consume should be taken more seriously. I think because we don't take it seriously, we just brush it off as, oh, it's just music, oh, it's just movies, oh, it's just a TV show. Where it's like, nah, like people put like time,
music is shamanic
energy into making this. Like it's not just something. It's like, nah, somebody put energy into making this to have an effect on you in a certain way.
Yeah.
Be aware of that. A lot of people just try to brush it off like, nah, it's not gonna have that effect on me. It's like, nah, think about it. Like
music is a shamanic experience.
Yeah. It is. It's one of the first forms of art ever.
Yeah.
Like interpreting vibrations was like one of the first things humans ever did. And then trying to recreate those vibrations is how we got music.
Yeah.
That's why
certain vibrations happened. We mimicked nature.
Yeah.
We heard drops. We heard lightning. We heard we heard thunder. We saw lightning. Things happen at different timings and different rhythms in nature that made us go, okay, make a rhythm, and then boom, we started striking shit and learned about vibrations. And
we started striking shit, plucking shit.
It's natural to humanity. It's very natural.
Yeah. The vibrations are like what we interpret, like from the first sound in the universe to everything. Like that's why music is so intrinsic to human nature.
You have any last minute thoughts on how people should, how creators can find peace in knowing that the future is filled with more tools, for better or for worse, more tools?
I think creators could find peace with knowing that the future is going to be filled with more tools and being set and confident in your ability to create. Your ability to create is what keeps you, relevant. Like when digital turntable, when CDJs came out, vinyl DJs didn't go obsolete because what they create can't be like what they create is intrinsic.
Yeah.
If you're a creator and you have confidence in what you create and it's intrinsically coming from you, then there's nothing to fear. All these tools are just going to make you better.
Exactly.
Seriously, like, DJs became, they adapted to CDJs and digital turntables.
It also
Drummers
comes down
adapted
to
to
their why.
808s.
Yeah.
Singers adapted to auto-tune.
Yeah.
As technology emerges, whatever you create, if you're confident in your intrinsic ability to create that, you'll be fine.
Facts. And it's a matter of what is your why? Did you get into it to push the boundary and go into the unknown of what can be made? Or are you just trying to mimic what you've heard?
Right, seriously.
If you mimic what you've heard, and it'll get easier and easier to do that, and it is what it is.
For real, we're at the age where computers
it's replaceable. Exactly. But if you're making art for the sake of going into the unknown and finding that new thing that you can contribute to art in the culture of humanity, then the result is different. The reward is way high.
Yeah.
Way, way high. Computer can't do that.
Nah. And at the end of the day, a computer can't express you honestly. As long as you're expressing yourself honestly, you're good. If you're expressing yourself to put on an image or to satisfy someone else's, perception, then that's not art. You're an employee. As long as you're expressing yourself honestly, you have nothing to fear.
Facts. So yeah, let's wrap this up. It's 1166 podcast. Thank you, Lord of Ciphers. Hold on, we didn't even really let the people know where to find you, bro.
Oh, seriously, Lord of Ciphers, first of his name, breaker of codes, unfooled, father of owls. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, pretty much all streaming platforms as Lord of Ciphers. If you have yourself access to a QR code, you can scan that right there. Anybody can see that. You just pull out your cameras and scan that QR code. You can find all my links. There you are. And here I am. It's been lovely. I bid you adieu.